season victory. The Miami Dolphins hold the record of 27. The temperature in the low 80s, and this is the warmest opener here at Lambeau Field since the early 90s.
I think that, Dick, I think that is a great advantage for the Detroit Lions, because they're going to put to the test right away what kind of shape Gilbert Brown and the rest of that front seven is. If they're in good shape and they can move with it and stay with this heat, then that's advantage Green Bay. But if they can't, they're going to have a tough time.
The Packers have won the toss, and they will get the ball first. As usual, a capacity crowd, and a very colorful crowd at that. And Jason Hansen will kick off for the Lions. Roel Preston goes back deep for the Packers. And Travis Jervey back there as well. Preston, a newcomer. He won the job over Glenn Milburn, the former Lion, who's now playing in Chicago. Detroit Lions. Jason Hansen gets this season underway, and the kick heading over for Preston slips momentarily at the 1-yard line, and Roel Preston finds some running room, and he is hit and dropped shy of the 30-yard line. So Brett Favre, who has started in 93 consecutive games, by far the leader and undefeated against the Lions here at home. And a very impressive offensive unit. There is the offensive line. Verba, Rivera starting this year at left guard. Winters, Timmerman, and Earl Dotson at right tackle. Levens back in action. Freeman and Brooks, two dangerous receivers, and Mark Shimura, a big weapon at tight end. And the handoff goes to Dorsey Levens, who crosses the 30-yard line.
Okay, right here.
Pickup of about 3 yards on the play for the Detroit Lions, and they have improved defensively thanks to the likes of Porsche and Ellis up front. Dan Owens coming over from Atlanta at defensive tackle. Waldrop at end. Alan Aldridge, who was the middle linebacker for the Broncos in the Super Bowl, now on the outside. Rob Fredrickson, the former Raider, and Boyd in the middle. Young corners in Brian Westbrook and Kevin Abrams in their second year. Carrier, the free safety, Ron Rice at strong safety. And there is Favre's first pass. Antonio Freeman on the reception. And the Packers in business, and a first down near midfield.
You know, you talked to the Green Bay Packers all week long, and it still came back to Brett Favre. And they know they have Favre. They know if he's on. I was speaking to Sherm Lewis, the offensive coordinator, prior to the game, and he echoed the same sentiments that did Mike Holmgren. We have to get Brett Favre settled down early. Sherm Lewis is telling me that he watches him in the pregame, and he says if he comes out and he's on in pregame, I know we're going to have a fast start.
Gain of 16 yards on the first offensive play of the game. Second, that is, and there is Dorsey Levens, and Levens gets to midfield so far, connecting with the first pass, and a pickup of about 3.
You know, the funny thing is, talking to Dorsey Levens, 3 plays, 2 carries, the first 2 times all season he's been hit. We were talking to him last night about that, and he said, I said, how do you feel? He said, I don't know. I haven't been hit yet. I said, well, how are you going to handle the game? He said, well, if I get tired, I'm just going to raise my hand. But when I mentioned that to Mike Holmgren, he said when he raises his hand, he looks to me, I'll let him know if he's tired.
He'll be the judge. Second down and 8. And a pump fake and an incompleted pass as the Lions, with Ellis getting in there in a hurry. And the good pressure by Ellis, as Henderson was the intended receiver.
I think this year, 1998, is the year for Luther Ellis to really break through. I think he's bigger, he's stronger. I don't know if he's necessarily faster, but he is the focal point of this Detroit Lion defense. As he goes, this Lion defense goes.
It'll be third down and 8. Brett Favre looking to throw on third down and 8. Wide open is his tight end, Mark Shimura. And a first down inside the 35-yard line.
None of that happens, Dick, if he doesn't have the time to throw the football. Now, part of this is going to be Favre. You're going to watch him inside. Part of it's Favre. See, he's going to buy some time, but he doesn't have anything inside. So all he does is just drift a little bit and allowed Shimura to come back inside and pick up that 17-yard gain and a big first down. He waited for Shimura to clear the linebacker. Boy, he bought some time, but his offensive line did a good job.
And a gain of 17 yards, and the Packers marching impressively. And a screen pass and a good catch made by Levens, who slips and is down at the 30-yard line for a short gain. Packers moving the ball, and in Detroit territory with nearly 3.5 minutes gone by.
Well, if the Detroit Lions are going to have a good team this year, a lot depends on their quarterback. We already talked about that. But defensively, they have to take a step up. I believe last year, under Larry Peccatello, their new defensive coordinator, I thought they played really, really well. But they're going to have to take, again, another step in order to be the playoff team they want to be.
2nd down and 7 for Green Bay. Both wide receivers split to the left. And the handoff to Dorsey. Levens gets a good hole off the left side. And Ron Rice brings him down, but the Packers will have another first down. A 7-yard pickup, and Dorsey Levens at this point showing no effects of not taking part for 6 weeks.
Dick, I'm going to tell you why. You take a look at that left side of the offensive line. Watch Rivera in there. Watch Verba. They're blowing people off the ball. And I don't care. You can hold out all year long. If you get holes like that, you're going to run pretty well.
Dorsey Levens with a big year and a good hole up with Rivera, the left guard. 1st and 10 for the Packers. And Brett Favre with a lot of time, and his pass incomplete.
Oh, I like that.
It was intended for Freeman, and defending was Kevin Abrams.
Yeah, what I liked was Kevin Abrams. And Kevin Abrams doesn't have a lot of size, but what he has is savvy. And he was hanging back there, waiting for the break, as was Favre. And then when the break was made, he broke. Watch the break, right? He's waiting. Now he's going to cut back underneath. And really, he played it really well. Had the ball been better thrown, he had a chance at a pick. I like this kid.
Abrams is only 5'8", but he studies film, and he knows how to anticipate, and he thinks that makes up for his lack of size. 2nd down and 10. And here is Levens again with Henderson blocking, and Dorsey Levens gets to the 16-yard line. Boyd, the middle linebacker, in on the play.
It's funny watching Dorsey Levens. Remember, what he was really good at was he got stronger as the game would go on. Defenses would wear down, and then he seemingly got stronger and stronger. And I think in today's game, that'll be awful hard to do, because what happens is you have fresh legs now, but it's not under the duress of a game, and this game has a tendency to kind of steal your strength.
Henderson now playing on the left side, split backs, and Shimura in motion on 3rd down and 4. Favre with a swing pass to Levens, and a good tackle made by Mark Carrier.
Excellent. That's a great open field play by Mark Carrier. Short of the first down. They came with a blitz outside. Aldridge came right in his face, 55. You're going to see him come right away. Favre recognizes it, also knows he has the hot receiver. Carrier, recognizing that his coverage, he has to jump quick, sees it and makes the play short of this first down marker.
And a 32-yard field goal attempt by Ryan Longwell as the Lions finally tighten their defense. And the kick is up, and it's good, and the Packers, with an impressive drive of more than 6 minutes, have taken a 3-0 lead on Ryan Longwell's field goal.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of the Super Bowl.
Brett Favre engineering a drive that resulted in the field goal by Ryan Longwell, and the Packers leading 3-0. Longwell will kick off, and Terry Fair, the rookie from Tennessee, who has looked good in preseason, back to receive the kick from the 1-yard line. Terry Fair with good speed runs right into a Packer defender and is down at the 21-yard line. Lamont Hollingquest making the special teams play. Packers lead 3-0, and the Lions with their first offensive foray, and Barry Sanders breaks a tackle and picks up about 4 yards on the play. So the Detroit Lions with Scott Mitchell at quarterback. And of course, Mitchell will be under the gun. He's got to produce. That is his record as a starter with both the Lions and the Miami Dolphins, who he started with. Jim Pine, formerly of Tampa Bay, replaces Kevin Glover at center. Sanders, the running back, Moore and Morton are threats. And the pass to Herman Moore, and his first catch sufficient for a first down. Defensively for the Green Bay Packers, and of course they've got a new face in there. They traded up to get Monty Holiday, the #1 draft pick from North Carolina. George Kuntz beat out Seth Joyner at outside linebacker. And Darren Sharper replaces Eugene Robinson at free safety. Here is Sanders, and Barry Sanders picking up nearly 4 yards before Newsom brings him down.
Well, when you watch this Detroit Lion offense, you know, basically every team in this league has something they can always go to. And if Green Bay, it's Brett Favre. And for the Detroit Lions, it's going to be Barry Sanders. The other guy is Herman Moore, who's as good blocking and throwing his face in there, although this time he comes up with a little ding. But he does that extremely well.
2nd down and 6, and Herman Moore goes in motion for Detroit. And Mitchell has some time, and the pass is caught underneath. They'll be short of a first down by 3 yards. It was Moore with his second catch.
You know, Herman Moore is playing dinged up right now. You just saw the first play, the second play there. He's still holding his head like he's kind of in a daze. Second thing is his groin, which I think is tougher than being in a daze, because you don't have to run on your head, but you have to run on those legs and make cuts with the groin all game long.
Gilbert Brown has gone out of the game. On a passing down the Packers field, 3rd down and 3. Vaughn Booker, the former Chief, replaces him. Barry Sanders looking for running room. May have come up short. Darren Sharper forcing the play from the secondary. And let's see how close Sanders is.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to be short. Darren Sharper is one of the new guys in this defense. He's a second-year player. He had a chance to learn. You're going to see him right here. He had a chance to learn last year from Eugene Robinson, but he was playing all over the place. What he does very well is he can run, and he runs better than did Eugene Robinson. Sometimes he has a tendency to get to the line of scrimmage and stop his feet. When he just runs through things, he's excellent.
And they're going to measure, and they appear to be short, and they are, but not by much, just a couple of inches.
Well, they're going to go for it.
Yes, they are. Corey Schlesinger is coming into the game. And the Detroit Lions with an early gamble right here on their own 41-yard line, going for it 4th and inches, trailing 3-0.
Kriplevic checks in. Eric Beverly checks in as the extra tight end. And you have Tommy Vardell back here instead of Barry Sanders.
Sanders is on the bench. And the quarterback sneak and
fumble on top of it.
And the Packers pick it up, and Leroy Butler will score. Touchdown Packers. 30-yard run, and did that backfire?
They brought in their big backs for the backfield, and then they gave it to a guy who doesn't run the football. Now, the quarterback sneak is something that's always there, but in order to do it, you have to get low. And he ran right inside. Great job by Santana Dotson. Santana Dotson, and then Brian Williams has the presence to be able to strip that thing. And there's a surprise. Leroy Butler in for 6.
A critical gamble that backfired by Bobby Ross. The extra point by Longwell is good, and the Packers lead 10-0. Kind of early to make a gamble against the defending conference champions, who lead 10-0. Leroy Butler, who returned the fumble 32 yards for the touchdown after the Lions gambled on a quarterback sneak on 4th and inches on their own 41, and it's now a 10-0 Packer lead. Ryan Longwell with a kickoff, and Terry Fair will run it in from the end zone. And Fair brings it out to the 20. Good coverage. Antonio London, the ex-Detroit Lion, making the tackle. Timeout here at Lambeau Field. Does the crowd ever love what's going on?
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Toyota. Every day belongs to you. Make it count. Toyota every day. By Smooth, refreshing Michelob Light. Beer or Michelob. By Visa, the official card of the NFL. It's everywhere you want to be. And by Microsoft. Where do you want to go today?
6 minutes and 13 seconds remain in the first quarter. Leroy Butler with the defensive touchdown. Vaughn Booker has gone in at defensive end as Reggie White gets his first breather of the game. 1st and 10 at the 21 for the Lions. Here is Sanders. Flag is down, and Sanders will be stopped for a yard loss by Bonnie Holiday, but the penalty, and Dick Hantak, our referee, will explain. And the preliminary signal offsides against Green Bay.
One thing you'll notice about the Green Bay Packers.
1 5-yard penalty.
I want you to watch inside. 71, Santana Dotson is the guy who makes this whole play. I mean, he's the guy who should get all the pats on the back. And then the second thing is Brian Williams, who comes in off the corner and has the presence to strip. What? You see how fast Dotson got off the ball? That was the whole key. And that's something that will go completely unnoticed. Leroy Butler will get the pats in the back, but Santana Dotson was the guy who made the whole play.
Mitchell never had a chance. Newsome was offsides on the last play, so it's 1st and 5 for the Lions. Scott Mitchell. And he's got Walter Rasby, the tight end, known more for his blocking abilities, and Rasby may have a first down for the Lions. And he does.
With all the things that this Detroit Lion offense can do, and one thing that really could help them even more is have a tight end who can catch the football. Now, David Sloan got hurt, and Rasby steps in. Kriplevich is in there right now, more kind of a pass receiver than a blocker.
First down, and Mitchell is going to go deep for Jermaine Crowell. And the rookie from Virginia.
Ooh, that kid's good.
Had beaten the defenders. He had Butler and Newsome beaten, and Crowell from Virginia looking a lot like Herman Moore, who also played at Virginia.
Except one thing, Dick. This guy is faster. And Newsome, he just gets legged out. I mean, he just runs right by him. They had problems with that in the preseason. And this is going to happen again in this game. Guaranteed it's going to happen. Either on a double move or whatever, but they're going to go deep. This kid, Crowell, is faster than Herman Moore and just as big.
So they've got 3 solid wide receivers. 2nd down and 10, and on the draw play, here is Sanders, and he doesn't get much. And it was Bonnie Holiday who nailed him from behind.
That was perfectly played by Bonnie Holiday. Now what he does, he was a defensive tackle in college. But you see him right down here. What he's going to do is he's going to come up and he's going to stay square. See, now he's holding the outside, and then he's able to come back inside on Sanders. But because he maintained the discipline of that outside, it forced Sanders to come in and you can make the play. Kid's got a big, big upside, but he's got to learn how to play the game down in and down out.
3rd down and 9. And the pass intended for Kriplevich, the tight end, and a flag is down, covered by Butler, and a penalty marker down at the other side of the field near the 45.
Now, Johnny Morton was working on Darren Sharper, and I think they're going to get Sharper for whacking him downfield.
Holding. Defense, number 42. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
And that is the call. Sharper, who replaces Eugene Robinson this year.
Darren Sharper right there. So he has his hand right on that shoulder. He had his right hand on the shoulder, and they saw it. He'd have been better served just to get a jam on him. Now he's played that position, but now his base position has been safety.
First down, and Sanders dives past the 40-yard line. Bob Kuberski giving Gilbert Brown a breather as Fritz Shermer is going to shuttle in his defensive linemen to keep the likes of Reggie White and Gilbert Brown fresh today. There's Kuberski.
Part of the game plan of the Detroit Lions, especially with their offensive line, was to hope that the weather was going to be hot so that it could wear down that defensive front. Right down here, you see the play clock. getting to the line of scrimmage a lot faster than they were a year ago, and that's part of the other thing they wanted to get done.
Second down and 8, and again they go to Sanders, who gets tripped up but gets to the 45. They'll be short of the first down by 3 yards as third down coming up for the Lions. Packers lead 10-0. Their opening drive resulting in a field goal, and then the Leroy Butler return of a fumble, 32 yards after an ill-fated fourth down call by the Lions. Third down and 3 coming up. Johnny Morton and Herman Moore line up to the right. And the pass to Tommy Bardell, wide open, and the fullback goes down the sidelines and gives Pat Terrell a shot as he goes out of bounds. He gets 20 yards, and the Lions have a first down in Packer territory.
That's a mix-up in coverage. Either that or it's a pick. The fullback should not be able to get into the flat that easily. The first thing that happens you're going to notice is Scott Mitchell is able to step and throw. And the second thing you'll notice is you'll see he's the only guy in the frame. That's the only guy in the picture because there was a blown coverage inside or they had a pick play.
Lions with a first down on the 34-yard line of the Packers. Here's a play-action play, and the pass to Sanders thrown over his head. And right now, let's go to Kevin Frazier in Hollywood for an update.
Guys, in Minnesota, the Vikings strike first. Brad Johnson, 2 yards to Chris Carter. Carter's 100th consecutive game with the catch. Let's go back to Dick Stockton and Matt Miller.
That's an interesting team. If Brad Johnson can catch up to his arm strength where it was a year ago, they're going to be extremely hard to stop offensively.
Tommy Boyd replaces Herman Moore, and there is Johnny Morton, and a big tackle made by Craig Newsom as he prevented what might have been a touchdown for the Lions.
That's a tough tackle to make. I mean, that's one of those all or nothing. He got the shoelaces and came up with it to set up third down. Craig Newsom is not the same player he was before he hurt his knee, and it's going to take some time to get back to that point. But what he is aggressive, and he's physical. He can use those things and still incorporate them into his game, but he's got to get more confidence on the knee.
Tore his ACL on the first play of the season last year against the Bears. Third down and 6 for the Lions. And Scott Mitchell can't escape the rush, and Keith McKenzie gets the first sack of the game for Green Bay.
Yeah, McKenzie comes in and just a speed rush to the top side, and Antonio London back inside helps him. The whole key to that wasn't so much the pressure, but the coverage. They had him covered downfield. Mitchell wanted to get rid of the ball quick, but there was no place to throw early.
So as a result of the sack, Jason Hansen is going to have a longer field goal attempt than he had planned. This should be about 51 yards. Hansen, who had a team record 24 consecutive field goals last year.
51.5 yarder.
Yes, it is. Like most kickers who like to kick indoors, it's different outdoors on grass.
Bad sack.
And there's the kick. It's long enough, and the kick is no good, but there's a flag down.
This could be the new rule that's been going in the National Football League. If you try to jump inside, they'll call it on the defense.
Delay of the game would be the call, if it's that.
Delay of the game.
There it is.
Defense, number 96, 5-yard penalty.
And it's Vaughn
Repeat
Booker.
Down, fourth down.
See, what happened was prior to this year, when the offensive line was set, if you moved inside and they moved, it was on them. Now you're going to watch right inside. Vaughn Booker's going to move, and then that is what they're going to call now for the delay of game. They're going to decline it. They're going to decline it and take the field goal. That's a tough field goal to make. And that's from 51 yards. If they take it, it would be a 46-yarder, but it's still a tough field goal to make, so I think you take the sure thing.
I think there's some confusion, Matt.
On the line of scrimmage, there is no snap, there is no kick.
Okay, there's your
5-yard penalty.
Yeah, there's
Repeat the
no
down.
option.
Fourth down.
There is no option. You don't have a chance to decline a delay of game penalty.
Right. Well, it was like the clock ran out and the play could never start.
Exactly. So the 5 yards will be marked off, and now Hansen will have a 46-yard attempt.
He kicked that sucker pretty good in 51 yards.
He did. In the heat. On grass. John Jett is holding. He is the punter. And there is Hansen's kick, and it is good. So a 46-yard field goal by Jason Hansen, and the Detroit Lions finally are on the scoreboard with 1:10 remaining in the first quarter. It's now 10-3 in favor of the Packers. Mike Holmgren more than a bit disturbed at his defense with 3 defensive penalties. Finally, Jason Hansen with a 3-pointer from 47 yards out. Now Hansen will kick off. Preston and Jervey back deep, and a good kick way out of the end zone by Hansen. And the Packers will start from the 20-yard line. Well, tonight, after an all-new World's Funniest, it's an all-new Holding the Baby, then a can't-miss Simpsons, and the smash hit That 70s Show, followed by the X-Files. It all starts tonight at 7, 6 Central on Fox.
Now, Vaughn Booker jumped off sides, and he got a nice Green Bay welcome when he got to the sideline for Mike Holmgren, who stated in no uncertain terms, you don't ever do that.
And he can do that.
Yeah, he's good at it.
Booker sitting by himself, and there you see the Lions.
The cheese stands alone.
Lions have had the edge in ball control. First down, and the screen pass to Shimura. Flag is down, and let's see whether they'll get Porsche on Favre back behind the line of scrimmage. It would be a Green Bay first down, but Favre signaling that Porsche might have roughed him, although no hard feelings between the two.
Yeah, that's a tough thing for Porsche as well. He's got to pull off, and Dick Tantak will tell us that.
Completed play, first down.
They picked it up. See, they are letting Porsche come clean. They just bump him with the tight end, and you can see that's a good non-call. That shouldn't have even been called. Porsche was right, and Favre knew it was right. The big thing was they got the first down, so, hey, no harm, no foul.
Packers with a first down on the 31-yard line. They're leading 10-3 with 41 seconds remaining first quarter. Favre drills it in the pass to Shimura, and a first down and a flag back, and I wonder whether Luther Ellis got to Favre that time.
It was Luther Ellis.
And they'll get him that time.
And Luther Ellis is going to, yep, they're going to call him for it. He worked off a double team, came back in, and ran right up the middle. Favre released it, and he hit him right in the kisser. Watch him right here. He's going to work on Frank Winters and Rivera. Double, come off Rivera. Ball's thrown. Now, he had time to pull off. There's the throw. 1, 2, almost 3 steps, and that's why they're going to call it.
Roughing the passer, the call on Ellis. So the last time you were right, no harm, no foul. This time there was harm and a foul.
Look at Favre. Did you see Favre right there? He's clapping. Yeah, you got him. Favre has way too much fun to be playing quarterback in the National Football League.
He is 6 for 8. That's why he's having fun for 62 yards and got off to a crisp start in this one. First and 10 Packers. They're in Lion territory. At the 42-yard line. Here is Dorsey Levens, and nothing there, and he runs right into Luther Ellis.
And you see how Ellis got rid of the ball. See, this is where he really got better from a year ago, and it's getting rid of blocks to make the play. They start off on a double on him. He gets it, sheds the block, and makes the play.
And that'll be the end of the first quarter here at Lambeau Field on opening day. With the score, the Packers 10, the Lions 3. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. And welcome back to Lambeau Field in Green Bay. Start of the second quarter. The Packers lead the Lions 10-3. This is Dick Stockton along with Matt Millen. Packers with a 2nd and 10 on the Detroit 42-yard line. And there is Boyd stopping Dorsey Levens in his track for no gain.
Again, that's Stephen Boyd comes up and makes that play, but he can't make that play if Luther Ellis doesn't do his job. And this is what Luther Ellis has really gotten pretty good at. I want you to watch him right inside. 2 inside tackles, he watched. Boom, right there. See him? He stands the guy up, and then because he does that and holds the outside, Boyd can sneak back inside and make the tackle.
Lions are playing a 3-man front right now. 3rd down and 10 for the Packers. Split backs for Brett Favre, looking to throw, and his pass, it's an out, and the pass is caught by Robert Brooks and hit immediately by Kevin Abrams. Brooks, coming back less than a month away from back surgery, makes a very tough catch and a first down.
And listen to the crowd. They appreciate it. He fought hard last year to come off a knee, and he came back, and his back was not right. He tried to play through it, had the surgery, and this kid is he's as competitive as there is at this position in the league.
As late as Friday, did not practice because his back was sore. First down on the 31-yard line. Here is Levens trying to turn the corner, and he is knocked out of bounds. Minimal gain on the play.
Watch this Green Bay Packer offensive line. The one place where they're new is on the left side. There's Ross Verben, the guy he's playing with, 62, Marco Rivera. An NFL Europe guy, had to get bigger and stronger, came over, and he has the right disposition. He's pretty aggressive, and he and Verba on that left side, they can get pretty down and dirty at times.
So changing faces on even the Green Bay offensive line. Second down and 12, and the pass underneath to Shimura, short of the first down, but not by much. Mark Shimura, always a favorite target of Brett Favre, and Ron Rice makes the tackle, and that'll bring up third and short.
You know, talking to this Detroit Lions staff, you know, they were so concerned with their wide receivers, their defensive backs against the wide receivers of Green Bay, but the guy who's killing them right now has been Shimura. He's been moving the sticks, and he's working on those inside backers. Remember, he's a big guy. He's 6'5", 6'6", and he gives you a nice big target. Favre and him are on the same page.
Lions wish they had a target like that. Luther Ellis getting to the line late on third down and 1. And the handoff to William Henderson. And Henderson has enough for the first down as he gets to the Lion 20.
And see, now there's the difference in short yardage. And forget that it's the fullback as opposed to the quarterback. The difference is Henderson makes himself small. You can see he's got the blood on the jersey already. Kind of looks like it should be. But watch his pad level. It's low. See, he stays right there, point of impact, down low, drive the feet, and just find the crack and go through it. Scott Mitchell stood straight up, never had a shot.
William Henderson now wearing number 33. As soon as Doug Evans left for Carolina, he grabbed that number. Here's a play fake and Favre. Brooks, the intended receiver, and it's knocked away, and it was Brian Westbrook who's tested for the first time today with a good play on Brooks at the goal line.
Now, you know why Favre is smiling? Because he knows he put a little bit too much air into that. And he put the mustard on it. That was 6. Brooks had the inside. You're going to watch it. And he just kind of floats it a little bit much. The reason he has to float it is because Carrier, the safety, was sitting right there. He had to get it over him, and he couldn't put a lot on it. It's good defense by Carrier and Westbrook for coming back and making the play.
Westbrook and Abrams both in their second year. Carrier's been around a while. Second and 10. Derek Mays is the third wide receiver, but Dorsey Levens gets the call and doesn't get much. It'll be third and about 7 for the Pack.
Kind of curious watching this Green Bay offense if Mike Holmgren doesn't use Travis Jervey at some point in this game just to take advantage of his great speed. Travis Jervey had himself an excellent preseason, and it hurt his toe, kind of slowed down the last 2 games, but he has something that this offense doesn't have, and that's great speed to the corner.
He's been bothered by a turf toe as of late. There is Jervey on the sideline. Third down and 7. Packers 3 for 4 on third down conversions. The pump fake, and they dump it off to Levens. And Dorsey Levens will give the Packers first and goal inside the 10.
That comes back again to the offensive line. Favre has a lot of time back there to look over the field, pump fake, come back, and then hit his check down underneath. He has not had any pressure except for those 2 roughing calls, really. Save that, this offensive line has done a great job.
First and goal at the 7. The Packers open up with 3 wide receivers. And here is Levens, and Levens gets to the 5-yard line. Fredrickson making the tackle. So Dorsey Levens in his first game, he was signed a week ago, and Didn't really have much contact, even though he worked out on his own, getting a lot of action here in the first half.
Nothing that wasn't expected by Dorsey Levens or Mike Holmgren. It always kills me when I see guys holding out and they say, well, you know, we're gonna have to take it easy with him, kind of ease him into the flow. Oh, first game? Here, it's yours.
Commentary about camp and preseason, although you know there'll be some fatigue along the way. And now the Packers are going to call a timeout.
Green Bay, their first timeout.
9:46 to go in the half. Green Bay by 7.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Chrysler, engineered to be great cars. By Little Caesars Pizza, featuring the highest quality ingredients in dough made fresh daily. By Priority Mail from the U.S. Postal Service. And by AC Delco Automotive Parts. AC Delco, if you're not asking for it, you're asking for it.
Packers using a timeout. It's second down and goal on the 4. This is the 13th play of the drive. And it's been well balanced with 6 runs and 6 passes. Here's Levens, and he gets in for the touchdown. Let's see if this is score. He's got it.
Nice job up front by the right side, and William Henderson with a great block. See if he jumps. Now that's a training camp jump. See? You gotta have camp to be able to get better height than that. So he didn't have camp, so he had to be a little more calculated. But he's not calculated right upside. Watch Adam Timmerman, Earl Dotson, and then watch 33 right there. Boom, there's the block. He's able to come back inside and get the 6.
Ryan Longwell with the extra point on a snap that was bobbled by Peterson, but the kick is good. And the Green Bay Packer offensive line doing a terrific job in the first half as the Packers have opened up a healthy 17-3 lead over the Lions. He got there. Dorsey Levens returning and starting and scoring on a 4-yard touchdown run. Brett Favre 5 for 6 in the drive, an 80-yard Green Bay Packer drive. A short kickoff by Longwell. Terry Fair at the 9 returning for the Lions. Fair finds a crease and trying to juke the defender. Flag is down from upfield, and Terry Fair is finally tackled at the Detroit 40-yard line pending the penalty. And now another one goes down.
It's not a good sign for the return team.
Usually it isn't when flags fly on a return like this. Dick Hantak.
Illegal block in the back on the receiving team during the return, number 42. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Brian Stewart.
I want you to watch, you know, this Lambeau leap, everybody's excited. Look at this lady right here. Oh, Dorsey, you come to me, honey. I can't wait. And then watch, she just gets absolutely buried, except watch the hand. See, she's got to go back in and get a piece right there.
Never knew what hit her. And there's Ryan Stewart with the illegal block. So the Lions will start from the 27-yard line. First down. Trailing now 17-3. Penalty marker down. And Scott Mitchell's pass is caught by Herman Moore. It'll be a first down to the 45, but the flag is down. That would be an 18-yard gain. And this one's going to be called back.
Well, Detroit looks like a preseason
Illegal
team.
formation. Offense. Number 78 on the end of the line.
Yeah.
It's not covered by an eligible receiver. 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down. First down.
Unless he would have reported, you can't have. See, he's off the line of scrimmage, so this has to be either a tight end or a reported number, and it wasn't. And so this becomes ineligible because he is off the ball. Good call by the official.
So it'll be first and 15 off the 23-yard line. So a good return nullified by penalty, and then a first down nullified by a Lion penalty. And here's Barry Sanders on the handoff, and Sanders picks up a few. And right now, let's return to Kevin Frazier at our Fox Television Center in Los Angeles.
More Central Division action. Brad Johnson fades back, looks, and finds the rookie Randy Moss. Watch the concentration. Great catch by Moss. Bites, lead Tampa Bay 14-zip. Let's go back to Dick and Matt.
Hey, Matt, if Brad Johnson stays healthy, he's got 3 great targets, as good as you'll find in the game.
Well, the thing that really makes them difficult to defend is, see, when you put Randy Moss in there, you're going to put him against really your 3rd best corner, your nickel or your dime guy, and you cannot double all 3 guys. You just don't have enough people. And Randy Moss is good enough that he should be drawing your best cover guy, not your 3rd best.
Meanwhile, Darren Sharper is shaken up, and Mike Pryor has replaced him. So Sharper walking off on his own power. Sharper, who has a lot of responsibility, and there you're looking at Pryor, who has become a very valuable reserve on this Packer team.
Yeah, and then guy who knows all of the positions, knows how to play him. Watch Sharper is going to come up, going down. He gets whacked right on the bean right there from McKenzie. See, he had his head down too. There's a fine line between having your head ducked and having it in the right position. He had his head down too much.
2nd and 10 on the Lion 27. Out of the I formation, there's a play fake. Mitchell has time, and the pass is caught by Herman Moore, and he'll have the 1st down. Tyrone Williams doing his best job of covering him, but Moore, who caught 104 passes last year, timed his leap perfectly.
Well, Tyrone Williams doesn't have bad coverage. In fact, this goes back to what Herman Moore told me a few years ago. If I'm even, I'm open. Throw the ball high, I'll go up and get it. He believes in his ability, and I think that's, look at this coverage. I mean, he's right on top of him. That's a nice throw by Mitchell also.
1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. They give it to Barry. Barry bounces off Leroy Butler, and Barry Sanders rumbles and rambles into Green Bay territory to the 42-yard line, and a gain of 17 yards.
Man, he dusted Leroy Butler, and Butler's an excellent tackler. And he comes up and he just lowers his shoulders. Watch his pads. See, when he's ready to get hit, see how low he gets? Slides to the outside, and then he hits this other gear right now. Now, you don't get things downfield if you don't get help from your wide receivers. Herman Moore does his job. See, just that little block gave him an extra 6 yards.
Barry Sanders gets a breather. Ron Rivers replaces him, but going deep to Johnny Morton, and with the coverage is Newsome.
Good non-call. That's a good non-call.
Both going after the ball.
And Newsome knew it. I told you it was going to happen again, and it's not over. I mean, this game is young. Newsome's going to keep on getting tested until he does this more often than not. See, he stays with it, turns his head, whips around, the ball's underthrown. Because he turned back and looked back at the ball, they probably left it go because of that. But Newsome's going to get more of that.
2nd and 10 at the 41, 7:25 remaining in the 1st half. Packers lead 17-3. And here is Ron Rivers, and Rivers carries to the 35, so Barry Sanders getting a breather out for a couple of plays. Well, later today, a special edition of Fox Saturday Baseball. Mark McGwire will have a chance to etch a place in baseball history as he looks to break Roger Maris's home run record. It all comes up immediately following our game, and what a great dramatic chase has been. And Sammy Sosa, hitting his 58th yesterday, plays at Pittsburgh. McGwire goes against the Reds with the Cardinals later today on Fox.
Larry Tharp hobbles on out of that offensive lineup, replaced by Ramirez, 75.
That was the spot that Juan Roque was supposed to handle for the Lions. 3rd down and 5. Sanders back in there. And a play fake, and it busts. Leroy Butler got in there quickly, along with Antonio London, and the Lions had no chance. A loss on the play, 5 yards.
Well, they brought Butler off the corner. They brought London off the corner. They're bringing everybody they could, and what they had, I can't tell if it's a busted play. They were going to take Kriplevich and go this way. Yeah, see what happened? Either Sanders went the wrong way or Mitchell turned the wrong way because they ran into each other and he had to eat it.
John Jett with the kick, flagged down, 2 of them in fact. And the Lions cannot keep it in the field of play, but a pair of flags down. Robert Bailey slowly getting up in the end zone.
Yeah, that last play was going to be a counter OT with Kriplevich acting as the tackle. and either Mitchell turned the wrong way or Sanders came the wrong way, because see what happens, he fronts it instead of reversing. See, he knows right there he's in trouble. And then Butler was coming off the corner. They had the right play called for that defense.
Illegal formation, offense. Number 55 was off the line of scrimmage. Penalty is declined. First down, Green Bay. Result of the play is a touchback.
And Scott Mitchell discussing things with Barry Sanders on the busted play, thanks to the Packer defense. Timeout. We'll be right back. Well, for years, of course, we've known about Lombardi Way, but now everyone is getting into the act. The head coach currently and the quarterback, Brett Favre, passed.
It's funny, we had breakfast yesterday with a bunch of our buddies, the bunch of retirees that we happen to see here every Saturday morning, and they said, heck, everybody's getting one. He says, I want mine. I pay taxes in this town. Give me a name.
That could become an issue, Matt. Packers with good balance. Pass to run. Brett Favre from the 20-yard line going for Shimura, and it's knocked away by Boyd. Good coverage downfield. Excellent play by Stephen Boyd. And a way to beat a 2-deep zone or even a 3-deep is use your tight end into the seam. 2-deep especially if it's just split it. Stephen Boyd has to run with the tight end all the way through. Favre tries to get some air up underneath it, but Boyd stays right with it, gets his hand in and knock it down. They put a little bit too much in, and it allowed Boyd to stay with it. But Boyd, look at that's perfect coverage. Perfect coverage. Tyrone Davis in as the second tight end. Stephen Boyd from Boston College, the middle linebacker. Here is Dorsey Levens, and Levens with a good carry out to the 26-yard line. That is his 11th carry of this first half with 6 minutes still to go. You know, the one thing that they kind of worried about with Dorsey Levens wasn't so much, you know he's going to get tired. That's a given. You know he's going to be sore tomorrow and Tuesday. I mean, he's going to be dying. That's a given. But protecting the football. And he has to be able to hold on to it because it's all new for this. I mean, you don't start a season where you ended it. You have to get to that point. That was the big worry that Mike Holmgren told us, the fumble aspect of it. So far, he's held on to it. 3rd and 4, and here is Levens. And he very nearly had it jarred away. He gets the first down and holds on to the football. You almost gave him the Stockton jinx right there. A famous jinx. Yeah, thank you very much. This is just patience. This talks about timing. They go back, they hand him the ball, and now watch it. Ball's there. Look at it. Kind of pops out of there. On the 75th anniversary of the Three Stooges, that was a little bit of that right there. Look at it. Comes right out. Pulls it right back in. That's even bigger than kickoff 98, the 75th anniversary of the Stooges. In my life, it is. First down at the 32-yard line, and here is Levens out of the backfield. Dorsey Levens. 6 weeks with no activity. A flag is down right where Levens went down. Alan Aldridge making the tackle in a gain of 16 yards. Dorsey Levens looks like he was in every practice and every play in preseason the way he's looking.
Personal foul. Defense, number 53, 15 yard. First down. Rob
Fredrickson, who came over in a trade from the Oakland Raiders, and they'll tack on 15 more yards. Well, they're going to call it a late hit. You're going to see, watch Dorsey Levens right there. Aldridge hits him, starts to take him down, and as he's going down, there's the hit. Now, that's even in slow motion. I don't like that call. Let him play. Levens, with 68 total yards, goes out. Harry Sidney, as you pointed out, looking over Levens. There's Sid in the background right there. It's his job to keep his eyes on Dorsey Levens, and he and Holmgren talk about what he looks like. Here is William Henderson on the screen pass. Fredrickson hangs in just enough to bring him down, and a slight loss on the play. Yeah, see what happened with it. Harry Sidney is the running back coach, and a real good one. Played in San Francisco, did a lot of good things. You can see him right back there. He is keeping his eyes on Dorsey Levens to get his impression, and he talks to Mike Holmgren, and they'll kind of make a determination of what Levens looks like. If it looks like he's starting to lag a little bit, then it's up to Mike Holmgren to see if he wants to punish him or not. Like you said earlier, you look to me, I'll let you know if you're tired or not. Well, he went out for one play, but the Levens back in the backfield. 2nd down and 11. And here is Dorsey Levens, and Nothing there, and this time Robert Porcher, and so 2 consecutive losses for the Packers will bring up 3rd down and long.
Porcher makes the play there. Fredrickson in the play before makes a nice play also in the flat after getting shrugged off the tackle, had the wherewithal to come back and trip him up. Now this Detroit defense does a lot of things, and it's kind of what's happening now. 98, 97 football is pressure defense. And when I see a lot of movement, it tells me that you don't have the horses to stand in there and just compete play in and play out.
Brooks and Freeman line up to the right on 3rd down and 13. Good protection for Favre, but as he lets go of it, it was Waldrop, I think, who got in and affected his throw. It'll be incomplete, 4th down, and the Packers will punt for the first time today.
Waldrop was there. Aldrich was there. And Kerwin Waldrop, I watched him. As soon as I watched the tape, the first thing I noticed, he's big. He weighs 270, was 250 a year ago. And he's right in Favre's face. And then Aldrich comes from the backside, so Favre felt the heat.
Sean Landeta will kick for the Packers. They lost a good one in Craig Hentrick to the Oilers. Big free agent loss. Terry Fair with the fair catch at the 13-yard line.
Good kick.
Landeta did his job. He kept it inside the 20. Well, he's been around. Timeout. We'll be right back to Lambeau Field in just a moment. Under 3 minutes remaining in the first half, and the Packers up 17-3. Dorsey Levens having a terrific game, and you compare Barry Sanders to Levens. Levens has scored a touchdown, has carried the ball 5 more times than Barry Sanders to this point.
And you look at those numbers, as a defense, you'd say, I'd take under 3 yards rush.
1st and 10 at the 13-yard line, and Scott Mitchell going for Johnny Morton, and defending him was Newsome, and a very close call, but Newsome made the play, apparently.
They're going to keep coming after him. They're going to make him prove he can do it all the time. In order to get this thing done, you have to get Gilbert Brown blocked up inside. When he gets rolling, he is awful tough. You see, they're just going to have Jim Pine try to take him, and then Reggie White put the finishing touches on the head. They're just sitting back there, not trying to run by him. It's good defense.
Mike Pryor is still in the game at free safety. Darren Sharper going to the dressing room as Herman Moore is pushed out of bounds close to the 1st down. So the report on Sharper is that he has experienced dizziness after the helmet-to-helmet crunch came out of the game, and he is headed for the Packer tunnel.
There's Darren Sharper right there going in with Doc. One good thing about this league is anything involved with their head, they are ultra conservative about it, and they should be.
1st down for the Lions with 2:22 to go, and they still have all 3 of their timeouts remaining. Here is a handoff to Barry Sanders, but nothing doing. Very few yards.
The Lions have to do right now, they've got to get something going offensively. They're down by two scores, which isn't a big deal. They really haven't gotten Herman Moore into this offense in the first half like they'd like to. They've tried a couple times to go deep, but you have to work with Moore to get him short stuff and move the chain. They've got to get some kind of consistency.
And at this point, showing no ill effects from his groin injury. 2-minute warning here at Lambeau Field. We'll be right back.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Miller Lite, who reminds you to enjoy Miller Lite with friends.
2nd down and 8 after the 2-minute warning, and the pass caught for the 1st down by Herman Moore, and the Lions playing hurry up now. Tyrone Williams was all over.
Oh, hey, Herman Moore's not getting up. He's getting up awful slow.
And he's going out in a hurry. No, he's lining up. Originally, it looked like Tommy Boyd was coming on, but Moore stayed on the field. 1st and 10 Lions on their 36. 1:35 and the clock running. And here is Mitchell's pass, and that is caught a yard short of the 1st down by Johnny Morton, and now Herman Moore will leave the game.
He's staying in
there.
And now it looks like they called timeout.
Yeah, they're going to get him out of there, and Boyd will replace him.
Yeah, he's holding his head, and I think he got whacked. Remember early in the game,
yes,
he got smacked in the beam, and now he makes the catch and goes down again and got hit by Pat Terrell. And I think, I think that just is compounded from what happened right here. Early in the game, went in to make a tackle, and he got whacked again.
Yeah.
Now, you can be tough about a lot of things, Dick, but I think when it comes to the head, you've got to really, really be careful. You got to use your head, no pun intended.
No, it's true. Moore with 4 catches, 36 yards. He's had a tough day because you know he's nursing that torn abductor muscle. The Lions, very effective last year. In the first half, 2-minute offense last season with 4 touchdowns and 8 3-pointers. 2nd down and 1 on their 45. Mitchell with receivers out, and a fine catch made by Moore, and a 1st down inside the 45, a gain of 11 yards, and that is vintage Herman Moore right there.
That is excellent job by Scott Mitchell to stay with it.
Lions still have 2 timeouts remaining. Flag is down. This may be a free play, and this is caught by Johnny Morton out of bounds, stopping the clock at the 30-yard line. And let's see if Antonio London had jumped a little too soon.
You know, all of a sudden, Scott Mitchell, this is what I was talking about.
Defense, number 57. Penalty is declined. Result of the play, 1st down.
And all of a sudden, Scott Mitchell, look, this is the earlier down. Watch the fight. Leroy Butler had him perfectly defended. And now he comes back to Johnny Morton the very next play. All of a sudden, Scott Mitchell looks like Brett Favre. He has time inside, his feet are right, he's stepping and throwing.
And he's in rhythm. 1st and 10 at the 30. Packer crowd is in the game, urging on the defense.
That could be on Antonio London. See, he jumped and got back, and that forced Compton to jump inside. This could be the defensive penalty. If you're on the line of scrimmage as a defender, you can't do that this year like you did in years past.
Neutral zone violation. Defense, number 57.
So another
in the neutral zone, causing the offense to move.
Another penalty.
5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
On Antonio London. Well, coming up on the Visa halftime report, Kevin Frazier and Ron Pitts will have the scores and highlights from around the league. And our Fox Sports sticker will have up to the second stats. That's all coming up on the Visa halftime report.
You know, the difference this year, if you're on the line of scrimmage and you jump, they're going to call you defensively. If you're off the line of scrimmage in the linebacker position, you can do it.
1st down and 5 at the 25 with 1:04 remaining in the half. Lions trying to get another score here. And that was Barry Sanders, and he's tackled by Butler from behind with under a minute now remaining.
Right before that ball was snapped, Crowell was in the slot, and he saw Leroy Butler, and he pointed to him and started yelling to the quarterback, Mitchell, but he had already gone into his cadence. Crowell saw that Butler was coming. That's Jerry Sullivan, their wide receivers coach, who's an excellent, excellent coach.
Crowell was taken on the 2nd round out of Virginia, already paying dividends as the Lions used their 2nd timeout.
You know, Dick, I was going to mention to you earlier when we threw up those 3 faces with Randy Moss, Chris Carter, and Jake Reed. These 3 receivers, Morton, Crowell, and Herman Moore, they are right there. And this Crowell is really going to be something because for the same reasons. He is going to require better than a 3rd corner to cover. He's not there yet, but he's going to get there.
Good point. You know, Randy Moss has gotten all of the play in preseason.
Right.
But Crowell, he'll be around a while himself. 2nd and 4 at the 24. And the pass to Johnny Morton. Oh, knocked away by Leroy Butler.
What a play by Butler. That was a perfect throw. Morton had him beat to the out. That's a tough, tough ball to defend. And that's why Butler is an all-pro. Watch him. Holds to the inside, gives him one way to go. Now break on the football, gets his hand up there. Boy, it does not get any better than this. You saw Herman Moore standing there. Herman Moore had his hands up because he knew it was 6. The only thing he didn't count on was Butler's ability to close.
That was a good throw.
It was an excellent throw.
3rd down and 4. Short drop, and Mitchell fires it. And incomplete. He had to get rid of it in a hurry or take the sack. Moore was the intended receivers. So that'll bring up 4th down And Jason Hansen will come in. Good pressure by Brian Williams.
Oh, Williams came through there like a shot. Watch it. He sees it, picks his spot. Use your eyes, run where they're not. An excellent job of evading by Scott Mitchell.
So the Lions hope that they can settle for 3. This will be a 43-yard attempt. Hansen already has kicked one from 47 yards out. And the line drive kick is good. And the Lions with 43 seconds remaining. And that has been their offense today. 2 field goals, but long ones from Jason Hansen from beyond 40 yards. And right now, the Packers lead cut to 17-6.
All of a sudden, Dick, and we talked about this right at the start of the game, Scott Mitchell has to be consistent. So for a quarter and a half, he was severely average. And then all of a sudden, he looks like an all-pro. He has to be able to maintain that kind of a streak throughout the game. Speaking to Bobby Ross last night, he was telling us he thinks that Mitchell has matured in that when he does kind of go in the tank a little bit, he thinks he now can forget about it, right himself, and stay the course.
And Bobby Ross knows to go to the plays that Mitchell is comfortable with when he is struggling, but he certainly was in rhythm on that drive.
See this right there? That's a change. That's Jim Zorn, the former Seattle Seahawks quarterback, who they hired as their quarterback coach. And I think that Zorny is going to be a good fit with Scott Mitchell.
This is the first time in Mitchell's 5 years with the Lions that he's not had to learn a new offense.
Well, what he was saying was that Jim Zorn was working more with his own personal mechanics instead of scheme. He was getting more to the specifics. And it kind of always amazes me when you have a guy who's played that they go back to say, well, he's working with my mechanics like I never did it before. It kind of surprises me.
Kickoff by Jason Hansen. Roll Preston from the goal line. In the waning seconds of this first half, takes it out to the 18. Kevin O'Neill making the tackle. You talked about Zorn, the left-hander, like Mitchell, a left-hander.
You can see him working here, and that's his protection right there, Zorn. Zorn's one of those guys he's like that as a player. He's always moving, he's always giving you something, he's always thinking, staying, keeping you on your toes. He was that way when he played, and he coaches that way, and I think that's good. But I think in this league right now, you have a lot of coaches who coach off a tape and not enough guys who get in there and show you how it's done. You really have to be a teacher.
Mitchell checking the Polaroids from above. Packers with 39 seconds remaining in the half with a first down on the 19. Dorsey Levens finds an opening, and Ron Rice makes the tackle, but a good gain of about 7.
So the Packers are going to say, look, we'll take our 11-point lead and take it into halftime. We think we're running pretty well. We think our offense is going pretty well. And I think if you watch Brett Favre in the first half, you have to like what you see.
But the key move was the gamble by Bobby Ross on 4th down in his own territory. It didn't work. It was a fumble. Butler returned it, and she enjoyed it.
Oh, she was beautiful.
And that is the end of the first half here at Lambeau Field with the score, the Packers 17 and the Lions 6. Fox NFL Sunday will continue with Kevin Frazier and Ron Pitts and the Visa halftime report after these messages and a word from your local Fox station.
Visa Halftime, brought to you by Visa, the official card of the NFL. It's everywhere you want to be.
We'd like to welcome everyone watching Green Bay and Detroit. Kevin Frazier, Ron Pitts, taking care of business while the A-team is on the road. In your game, it's all about Green Bay taking care of business. Packers up 17-6. Elsewhere, a lot of folks passed on the rookie Randy Moss. Maybe they're sorry now.
Hey, you can wear your gloves like that anytime you want when you're a rookie, when you're making plays like this. Right out of the chute, Brad Johnson, Randy Moss, 48-yard touchdown pass. Look at the concentration there. The PAT is good. Later on, another 38-yard pass. Money. He's all that. That's all I can say.
I got to agree with you. 21 zipping this one, Moss. 4 catches for 95 yards and 2 touchdowns. Meanwhile, in the Meadowlands, the Giants and Redskins all even at 10. Atlanta and Carolina, same deal. They're all even. Chris Chandler, 124 passing yards. New Orleans putting it on the Rams, 24-0 in that one during the second quarter. Chicago, maybe they found an offense. They lead the Jags 13-7. Pittsburgh and Baltimore, they're tied at 3. Jim Harbaugh out with an injured finger. Tennessee and Cincinnati is 134 degrees on the playing surface at Synergy Field. That's hot. Meanwhile, the Seahawks blanking the Eagles. Want to remind everybody, coming up next, we're headed to St. Louis to check in on the marriage. Chase, take care. Welcome back to the Visa Halftime and the NFL on Fox. And boy, do we have a big afternoon in store for you. Right after your football game, it's a special edition of Fox Saturday Baseball as Mark McGwire makes his run in history. For a preview, let's send you out to St. Louis.
Thank you, Kevin Frazier. Here in St. Louis at Busch Stadium, from outside the Stan Musial statue to inside in our little perch here at the ballpark, getting ready to hopefully catch a glimpse of history here this afternoon. Along with my partners, Bob Brenly on my left, Tim McCarver on my right. Tim, we were here yesterday. We got a chance to see number 60 live and in person, and I think everybody's rooting to see number 61 and 62 today.
Well, Joe, when you think about it, the signature act in baseball and perhaps all of sports is the home run. And the way Mark McGwire is so locked in right now, he may not only eclipse Roger Maris's mark of 61 and 61, but Joe Bowman, who had 72 home runs back in 1954. That was 44 years ago.
But that was Roswell, New Mexico.
That's correct.
And odd things happen there. Well, the odd thing to me that's happened around Mark McGwire, Bob Brenly, is the closer he's getting to Roger Maris's mark, seemingly the more fun he's having with all that goes into chasing this home run record.
Well, you know there's been a lot of pressure on Mac throughout this whole thing. He said he didn't want to talk about the record till somebody got to 50 by September. He blew right by that. Forget about it. But he really seems to have relaxed. He kind of accepts it now. He realizes that he's going to be a major part of baseball history, and why not enjoy it? I mean, this is something that baseball players dream about. Mark McGwire's living a dream.
Believe me, I've had a chance to talk to him. He knows exactly what he is doing and how important it is to the game of baseball. We all can't wait. Hopefully you can't either. The NFL on Fox continues after this.
And welcome back to Lambeau Field in Green Bay, where the Packers lead the Lions 17-6, getting ready for the start of the third quarter. And enter to win great prizes on foxsports.com. Play You Call It all season long, and today's halftime question is, which team will have more rushing yards in the second half? Log on to foxsports.com to answer. All right, so the Green Bay Packers have the lead, Matt, as we have the intermission right now, and a lot of questions for the Packers coming in. One question, I guess, answered to the affirmative, the offensive line.
I think the offensive line is the difference in this first half of the football game. They ran the ball very well. They protected Favre. They were able to keep Detroit's defense on the field. And if you can't get off the field defensively, you're going to have some problems. Conversely, in the latter part of the second quarter, Scott Mitchell came alive. And now the question in the second half is going to be, can he continue to have that kind of thing going? Because if he does, this turns into a great football game.
Well, the Lions were put in a hole on a decision to go for fourth down and inches on their own 41 early in the game. And not only did it backfire, they didn't get it, but Leroy Butler ran it in for a 32-yard touchdown on a fumble return. So they got into a hole early. Not what you want playing a team you haven't beaten in the last 6 tries here.
Yeah, and then the thing is, you know, you have to be able to have your offense get some consistency. It can't be big plays, because if it's big plays, Favre gets another shot. So you have to be able to keep Brett Favre off the field, just like they have to do a job of keeping Sanders off the field.
Barry Sanders, 10 carries, 43 yards. And there you're looking at the overall team statistics so far. Rushing yards virtually even, which is a win for the Packers. And the total yards even. But the big turnover has been critical for the Green Bay Packers. And Dorsey Levens with 14 carries, 44 yards, and a touchdown. And, man, look how many times he touched the ball in the first half.
Well, they weren't going to waste any time. They're going to throw him right into the fire. He knew it. They knew it. But there's something to be said for his conditioning. And he said he was running 2 hours every morning, then lifting weights, and then running again in the afternoon. That's running shape. This is football shape, and it's different. And the other thing is, if you're Barry Sanders, Looks like he got dismantled at halftime. They're putting him back together.
Well, we saw him come out with his shirt out. Now he's tying his shoes, and he's going to go in there pretty fast because the Lions will get the ball. Those are the numbers on Sanders, whose longest rush was 18 yards. Keep in mind that Barry Sanders has a string, and he holds his own record of 14 consecutive games that he has rushed for 100 yards or more in a game. Second half kickoff, and Terry Fair, the rookie from Tennessee, returning it for the Lions. Terry Fair has Longwell on the sideline, and a great return by Fair as he is knocked out of bounds at midfield.
Yeah, and a nice job by Longwell, because Longwell was smart enough to be able to take away the angle so he couldn't back, and he used the sideline to be able to let this thing go. The good job up front by the wedge, bad job by Bill Schrader, stopped his feet. Watch Longwell. See, he took this part away from him, and he made him have to go outside. And for a kick, I have to take my hat off to the kicker.
A rare thing for you.
Well, I'm putting it right back on right now.
Well, the Lions thought they might have the edge in special teams. Let's see if they can capitalize. Sanders going outside, and Barry is hit by Bernardo Harris. Tyrone Williams made the first hit after a gain of 5.
Yeah, the best move that Barry Sanders had in this game so far was getting dressed right before the half. He's still putting stuff back on.
Very fast at doing that.
Now you notice this Detroit Lions, they don't have the silver pants, they have those blue drawers, and I like the drawers, I don't like the socks. I think the socks are ugly.
I think they're called pants, not drawers.
Now, drawers, what the heck? You put them on the same way.
Honolulu blue. Sanders. And Sanders with a first down, I believe, inside the 40-yard line. George Kuntz on the tackle. The Lions trying to get back in this game. Field goal before half, cut the lead 7 to 11 points.
Well, you know, you saw that question at halftime. Who will have more rushing yards? If, in fact, Sanders gets more tries, I vote for him.
First down for the Lions at the 39 of Green Bay. Short drop, ball batted in the air. Reggie White got his hand up.
He's had a very quiet day today. Reggie White had. But the one thing that you'll always know about Reggie White, even in his 14th year, actually it's more than that because of the USFL. Even now, Reggie White will always play a solid game. You'll always know that he's going to hold up the run part of the game, and in the pass game, you still have to be aware of it.
Second down and 10. Bardell trying to block for Sanders, does a good job. Barry Sanders still on his feet, and finally ridden out by Pryor, but not before he picks up a Lion first down at about the 26, a gain of 14.
Remember the Thanksgiving Day game a few years ago against the Chicago Bears when he got hit by like 5 guys, and then he did this curly move right in the middle of it, right there. So you can never stop with Sanders. He's just phenomenal. Nice job of Pryor of staying on top of him.
And you're getting a lot of stooge mentions.
Well, hey, you know, like I said, 75th anniversary, you have to give him their due.
Boy, you're giving him their due.
He's the closest thing to Curly Howard I've ever seen.
Averaging 5.2 yards a carry. First down Lions. They're on the Packer 25. Time for Mitchell. Good coverage downfield. And he tried to throw it away, it appeared, and nearly was picked off. Rasby defended by Newsom. And Newsom very nearly had himself an interception. That's the one thing that the Lions hope Scott Mitchell cuts down on, is when he doesn't see something, not to force it.
Well, I mean, actually, you know, he did try to sneak that thing in there, but he was smart in keeping it low. If it wasn't going to be completed, it wasn't going to be picked, is what I want to say. That would have been real good if it wasn't going to be completed but incomplete. That was smart, huh?
Well, there's Gilbert. Lions are facing a second down and 10. And Mitchell's pass, and once again, good pressure up front. It was Santana Dotson who got up there along with Vaughn Booker.
I think Santana Dotson, and it's been said, Santana Dotson has been the most consistent defender, not lineman, defender the Green Bay Packers have had. Now, he's not a real powerful guy, but he can use power. He doesn't have a ton of movement, but he gets by with it. But what he is really slippery. He's one of those guys that is very unorthodox. I think he's a good football player.
He is that. Lions have converted only one third down situation. They need 10 yards. Mitchell going for Moore, and Moore, touchdown Lions. He bobbled it and held on. A 25-yard touchdown pass to Herman Moore.
That was an excellent job by Herman Moore to stay with it. Nice job by Scott Mitchell in the offensive line. Mitchell came to the line of scrimmage, knew that he had one man-to-man coverage outside with Newsome, and Newsome knows it too. Now look at this, bobble, 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 hold, push. And because of the push, that would verify the touchdown. Because if he's still bobbling it and then goes out, no good. But if he gets pushed out, then that actually helps it.
I think he had both feet in when he did have possession, but you're right. If you get pushed out and you got 1 foot in, that would be a score. And now the Lions going for the 2-point conversion, and the Packers, taken unawares, will call the timeout. So a critical timeout.
It should never happen.
That's called preparation, and that didn't work for the Packers. Give them a D on that one.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of the Super Bowl.
And we're back here at Lambeau Field. The Detroit Lions getting ready for a 2-point conversion. They were 1 for 3 last year. Packers, caught unawares, had to call a timeout, leaving them with 2. 17-12 the score. Mitchell to Morton, and he can't make the play, and the score will remain 17-12. Newsome defending Morton.
On the same kind of play.
Here is that touchdown play again. Herman Moore held on for the touchdown. Packers lead cut to 17-12 after the Lions failed on a 2-point conversion, but in a game of streaks today, that was the first touchdown pass allowed in 26 quarters by the Green Bay Packers.
Right. Again, it goes back to what Herman Moore said. If I'm even, I'm open.
Here's Hanson's kickoff, and Royal Preston, a yard in the end zone. Preston, who had a big game against the Colts last year, and the Packers never forgot about it, brings it out to the 17. Well, Tuesday, find out who survives the big propane blast and who doesn't on the season premiere of King of the Hill. Then see why Sue is the breakout personality of the new season series premiere of Costello before an all-new Guinness. That's Fox Tuesday, starting at 8, 7 Central, and there's a possibility that you'll see history in the making. If Mark McGuire or Sammy Sosa is poised to break Roger Maris's record, we'll have that game for you at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Now watch Corey Schlesinger coming down on special teams. This is about collisions, and he knows how to collide. Just runs flat over Pat Terrell and then gets his face in on the tackle.
First down for the Pack. Favre gets a rush, and a pass up the middle, incomplete, intended for Freeman. Good pass rush that time by the Lions.
Does this look like a different Detroit Lion team all of a sudden?
No question about it.
It's completely different. And they're coming after people. Their offensive line picked it up. Scott Mitchell's picked it up. And when you can do that, you give your defense a blow, and they can start to pick it up.
Richard Jordan, number 99, playing the middle linebacker. Played well. He's a good teams man, and he played well in the final preseason game. He's got good size. He came in on Favre on the last play. 2nd and 10. Again, Favre wants to throw it. And now the pass, and an unusual pass. Levens just standing there, a minimal gain, with Aldridge coming over to make the play.
That's good coverage down the field by the Detroit Lions. Aldridge is able to hold back. See, the Detroit Lions switched to a 34 defense now. They're going with they're going with 4 linebackers. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4. Still lots of time. Covered. Favre has to go out and then find Levens back inside. All of that means that the Detroit Lions had good coverage down the field. It's really the first time Favre's had to do any of that.
Bill Schrader has come in, 4 wide receivers for the Packers for the first time today on 3rd and 4. And the pass is caught by Freeman, but that'll be short of the first down. Hit immediately on a crunching hit by Kevin Abrams. And it's 4th down, and they'll have to punt.
And he's fired up about that because he read it perfectly and jumped it right away. They're just going to run a simple cross route. They're going to try to get the first. Antonio Freeman hangs on to it. Abrams hits him perfectly. That's good football all the way around.
Kevin Abrams starting at corner. He was the nickel guy last year, but now he's the starter with Westbrook and playing well today. Sean Landeta, the kick, gets off a beauty, sending Terry Fair way back inside the 15. Fair with a 50-yard return the last time, puts a move on Davis and is finally down at the 35-yard line after a return of 17 yards. 17-12, Green Bay. We'll be right back. Packers lead 17-12. That's Terry Fair, taken on the first round by the Lions because he would serve the dual purpose of being a nickel cornerback and a kick returner.
Not a real big guy, but a shifty guy, and I'll tell you, Tyrone Davis made a great play because had he not made that, Terry Fair is still running. He knew what he wanted to do, come back inside.
Look at those return yards for the rookie in his first NFL game. 1st and 10 at the 35. Lions trail by 5. Sanders. And it was Brian Williams.
Brian Williams made the tackle. Reggie White made the play, but I want you to watch Travis Jervey. See, when you're an all-pro special teams guy, they always know where you're at. He beats the double team, and they turn him over. Now, look, they also assigned Corey Schlesinger to put that old rockhead on him, and he knocked him down. So when you're Travis Jervey, you can guarantee there's going to be at least 2 guys on you all the time, and probably 3.
He was their leading rusher with Levens out in preseason. 2nd and 10 at the 35. Pressure on Moore, on Mitchell that is, as he overthrows Bardell, and as Bernardo Harris with the pressure. And right now, let's return to Kevin Frazier at our Fox Television Center in Los Angeles. Kevin?
The Skins and the Giants, this was a very close game. Gus Barat looking, finds a guy in a blue shirt, Michael Strahan. He goes 24 yards, back-to-back possessions, back-to-back interceptions, back-to-back scores for the Giants. It's 24-10, guys.
Giants don't have Jason Sehorn to return passes and interceptions.
And the Redskins don't have a quarterback.
First, 3rd down and 10, and the pass incomplete. This has been the best pass rush put on by the Packers today. That time, Santana, Dotson, and Keith McKenzie.
McKenzie was there. Dotson was there. And an excellent job of coverage down the field, and the fans know it. Dick, they could also sense that it was starting to slip away from them. That was a big series for the Packers.
You're right, because Detroit got the field goal at the end of the half and then the touchdown here in the 3rd. So let's see if the Packers effectively blunted the Lions' momentum. John Jett on the kick. Roll Preston. That was a good high kick by Jett. 5-0 on the hang time. That's pretty good, and Preston can't even get back to the 15-yard line. 9:51 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Packers lead by less than a touchdown. We'll be back.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Ford, maker of vehicles that are built to last. By Snickers, who will be MVP? Play Snickers Shock Zone. By Nike. And by Coors Light, frost brewed to tap the clean taste of the Rockies.
Welcome back to Lambeau Field. Dick Stockton, Matt Millen, 3rd quarter, and the Packers lead 17-12.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you very much.
Got a good seat today. Hand off to Dorsey Levens, dives forward for a couple of yards. Take a look at the Green Bay Packers when they've been on offense. They got a field goal on their first possession, then a touchdown, and they have stalled a bit since then.
Yeah, really, in these last 2 right here, that's got to be their biggest concern. And that just tells you a little bit about the adjustments made at halftime by Larry Peccatello and the Detroit Lions. Peccatello, of course, is a defensive coordinator for the Lions.
2nd and 6. Favre's quick pass to Schrader. And Westbrook was defending. It'll be 3rd and short for the Packers.
Did you see where he marked the football? That's a good job by the official. You see, they ended up, Schrader tried to reach out and get the ball forward, and he lost control of it. And so they're going to take, see right there, Now he reaches forward. Had he held to the ball, it would have been up here. But because he didn't, they mark it back here.
He kind of lost it out of bounds.
It's a good call.
Dale Williams, the head linesman, alert on the play. So it's a 3rd down 2 for the Packers on their 23. Derek Mays goes in motion. And Favre's pass up the middle is caught for the first down by Jeff Thomason. So Thomason, who's wearing a brace, he's got ankle and knee problems and hasn't played much lately, picks up 13 key yards for the first down.
That's a pretty courageous play by Thomason. See what they want to do, get Mays out there, create a pick. It doesn't happen. Detroit covers it right away. But Favre has the wherewithal to be able to see the whole field, come back, and is able to pick Thomason up down inside. I watched Thomason practice the other day. He walks with a limp all the time.
1st and 10 Packers. They get out of trouble. They're on the 36. Levens trying to get outside and does a good job before Stephen Boyd punches him after a pickup of about 2.
Detroit's picked up the pace. I'm impressed with what they've been able to shift gears, especially on defense. It all starts up there with Luther Ellis. And then I think those linebackers, I think it's going to take a while for this group to start to feel what they're all about and learn each other. Because you do have Aldridge, you do have Fredrickson, you have Kerwin Waldrop back in the lineup, you have Dan Owens, 90. It all takes time until you have that nonverbal communication to know what each one's doing.
Yeah, the difference in the game was that bad call and the 4th down gamble that resulted in an easy touchdown for the Pack. On 2nd and 7, and the pass is dropped. It was in the hands downfield of Mark Shimura on a high arcing pass, and Mark Carrier closest to him.
Excellent job by Favre to throw, but watch Dorsey Levens. Sees it, throws himself in, and is able to let this ball come off because clearly Shimura had beaten Carrier. And that almost looked like that old Oakland Raiders ghost to the post with Dave Casper coming over the shoulder, except Ghost got it done.
There's Mark Shimura, Pro Bowler. Packers have that many. Packers 6 for 9. They've been pretty impressive on 3rd down conversions. They need 7.
Oh, great
catch by Schrader.
Oh, man.
I tell you, what an athlete. And we say that because he can do so many things. Schrader with the turnaround, catch, and reception. Good for 13 yards into Detroit territory.
Dick, I want you to watch 84, and if that didn't look like Sterling Sharp's 84,
yes,
nothing did. And what a sharp contrast after the play as opposed to a year ago when Favre went over to congratulate him. Remember last year, he jumped on him. And now I think he's matured, and they've accepted him.
Yeah, he was in Mike Holmgren's doghouse most of last year, but his attitude has changed.
He was in Holmgren's doghouse.
First down, quick pass to Derek Mays, and now the Packers, who lost some momentum, the defense got it back for them, and now they're in rhythm again, a gain of 9.
Now this is where Holmgren's good. This is where, and also Favre, they're on the same page because he's using everybody. Schrader, Mays. You don't see much of Brooks. You saw Antonio Freeman. They'll hand the ball off inside into Dorsey Levens. They're using the entire offense and the scheme. That last play was a great job of Favre just throwing it to the guy who nobody's covered.
2nd down and 1 at the 39 of the Lions. Nearly 6 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter, and Levens trying to turn the corner, and good pursuit by Alan Aldridge, who has a Super Bowl ring and now wearing the uniform of the Lions.
You know, I liked Alan Aldridge last year. I thought he picked up his game for the Denver Broncos. And now they've changed him from the middle backer to the outside backer. And he's still a big, thick guy. It's a little different when you're on the corner. These things come at you from one side. When you're in the middle, you have to see the whole field. They're happening all over the place. So it's a little bit of adjustment for him, but I think he's doing pretty well.
And he wanted to move outside and do more. 3rd down and 1, William Henderson. And let's see where the forward progress is. Henderson trying to get the 1 yard for the Green Bay first down.
That looked like a pretty healthy spot if you ask me.
They're going to measure. Bobby Ross.
I don't know. That looked like to me when you're building, when you say, you know, you measure it and it says, you know, 8 3/4 strong. That looked like strong right there. That looks like 10 strong.
That's the terminology we use a lot.
Oh, yeah, you and I, when we're building all the time.
Well, you're a legitimate builder. Ross and Holmgren eyeing the measurement.
Yeah, there's a flag down right now.
Yeah.
I wonder if they didn't have, what the heck is going on there? Stephen Boyd's not pleased with it.
Too many men on the field.
Yeah, Kerwin Waldrop started to run off and then came back, and I never saw it. 12 men on defense. And I never saw the flag being thrown. All of a sudden, I just saw it kind of laying there.
I think they threw it right on the football.
You know, watch. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 guys. One of them tries to run off, and then at the last second, he comes back in, and it was 12. Yeah, there he is, right there. See?
Well,
That was Kerwin Waldrop.
Well, at least those guys didn't have to run on the field to measure. First down at the 33-yard line. Brett Favre with a play fake. Chase from behind, and the pass into the end zone. Gobbled and incomplete. Schrader defended by Brian Westbrook and very nearly pulled it in. Would have been another circus catch by Bill Schrader if he had.
I thought he had an excellent position by Brian Westbrook. But a nice job on the front end by Favre because he feels Porsche. He comes across the back, and he knows he's going to, because you can feel that stuff. And the ball's in the air, it's a jump ball. Westbrook goes up. Schrader almost comes down with another sterling catch.
84 was Sterling.
Had to say it.
Yes. There is Schrader now back on the sideline after that long run to the end zone. 2nd and 10, and Dorsey Levens, and loss on the play will bring up 3rd and long.
You know, Dick, watching Dorsey Levens right now, it looks to me like that training camp, those training camp legs have set in. Because he didn't quite have that little bounce and explosiveness that he had earlier in the game.
It's interesting, Matt, that when Levens has come out, and he hasn't been out much, they have not brought in any other running back other than William Henderson, as we now have the 12th play of the drive. 3rd down and 13 on the Lion 36. Favre is looking and firing, and the ball is caught. First down, and it was Derek Mays with a great catch.
Abrams was right on top of him, Dick. That is one of those things that you and I talked about when we were watching the tape of Brett Favre. Sometimes you can do everything right, and he still beats you. And now you can see Verba, Marco Rivera, Frank Winters, and Dorsey Levens all on that left side, giving him lots of time to throw. But here's the key. See, he's able to break. Watch the break by Abrams. Because he bought that extra time with those feet, that was the difference in the first down.
Abrams with the hit, trying to jar the ball away. First down for the Packers on the 21. And Levens, and it's Kerwin Waldrop who's won the starting job over Tracy Scroggins, and showing why.
Yeah, and bigger and stronger than he was a year ago. Talked to him before the game. You know, he's a thinker. He's one of those guys. He's kind of a wild man when he plays, but there's a lot of thought goes into what he wants to get done. One of the things he wants to try to get done better at is holding that outside edge. He and I were talking about it prior to the game. I think he's well on his way.
Winding down to 3 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. 2nd down and 10. And the slant caught by Mays inside the 15, short of the first down. But this is a long drive testing the Lions defense, and it's moving on to 7 minutes.
One thing, Dick, that hasn't happened against the Lions today, and something they anticipated, was their corners getting tested with the deep ball. Now we've seen it repeatedly with Newsome, and I'm kind of surprised that they haven't seen it against these two young corners, especially Abrams, who's not the biggest guy.
He's 5'8". Westbrook's bigger than that. 3rd down and 3. Good pickup off the blitz, and the pass to Mays. First down, Packers inside the 10 to about the 8-yard line. Carrier and Abrams on the tackle.
That you can credit right there, William Henderson, number 33. So much of this game relies on being able to pick up the pressure. And you have to have everybody right. Watch Anderson, boom, delivers him right to the face on Fredrickson, the linebacker, creates the time for Favre. He's able to step and throw, and it's a first down inside to Mays.
And Mays has been a very big cog in this drive in Lion territory. First and goal at the 7. Favre has 3 wide receivers. And the wraparound draw to Dorsey Levens. Levens inside the 5 to the 4-yard line. A play made famous by the 49ers and Roger Craig many years ago.
Remember it well. Didn't quite look the same there with Dorsey with his preseason legs. I'll tell you this, though. They have not shied away from they're paying them, they're playing them.
Soon you're going to say minicamp legs.
Yeah, he's past that. He might be back to the minicamp.
Second and goal at the 4. And Favre going to Levens, and he is hit by Aldridge and may lose a yard on the play. It'll be 3rd and goal coming up.
This whole series, the Green Bay Packers offensive line has gone back to what they were doing in the first half. Haven't gotten much pressure on Favre. That time he got knocked down after the ball was thrown. But they've kind of taken back the game. It's a big down right now for the Detroit Lions.
Now the Packers and Brett Favre have spread the ball around. This is everyone who's had at least 2 catches in the game. Levens leading the way with 6. 3rd down and goal, and here is the fade pattern, and it's caught for the touchdown by Freeman. A 6-yard touchdown pass to Antonio Freeman, and the Packers get a very big score here in the late stages of the 3rd.
That was a perfectly thrown ball. The trajectory came right down. I mean, it had to be thrown right where it was. Watch, he's working on Brian Westbrook. Westbrook's going to try to take something away, so he knows he's going to go outside. See how the ball came down this way? I mean, it didn't come flat. It came down over the top, and Freeman body positioned it perfectly.
And the extra point by Longwell. Freeman did not jump into the stands after that touchdown catch, however.
Watch this, Dick. Perfect. Doesn't get any better than that.
Packers lead 24-12. Brett Favre's first touchdown pass of the season. A 9:34 scoring drive that went 85 yards, capped with Freeman's catch. Mays with 4 receptions and 39 yards in the process, and the Packers rebounding after the Lions looked like they had taken over the tenor of this game. Longwell's kick to Terry Fair. He'll run it out from the end zone. Terry Fair showing speed, trying to turn the corner, and Terry Fair in a foot race.
That's 6 points.
And he's going to score. And that'll be 101 yards for the rookie from Tennessee. And that gets the Lions back in there.
In a hurry. Excellent job by the Detroit Lions and just getting a hat on a hat.
And he's been returning kicks like that all day, Matt.
He really has. I mean, you can watch. They're just going to get the most important guys. They just get a body on a body, and then it just turns into a foot race with Terry Fair. Didn't make a bit of difference. You had no angle. McGarrahan tries the angle, but Fair had too much for him.
And time has run out. No time remaining. The Lions will try the extra point. And this is the reaction of an elated Detroit Lions bench. When the wind was knocked out of their sails moments ago after that 9-minute, 34-second drive, they come right back in resounding fashion. Jason Hansen with the extra point is good, and that is the end of the 3rd quarter with the score. The Packers 24, the Lions 19. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after. The Packer lead cut quickly to 24-19 on Terry Fair's 101-yard kickoff return. He has returned 5 of those for an average of nearly 45 and a touchdown.
A fair beginning, so to speak.
To say the least.
It's a nice way to break into the National Football League. A little reminder there, Mr. Fair, it's not that easy.
Well, Preston Roel will be trying to see if he can do a back-to-back return. He's back there with Travis Jervey as Jason Hansen prepares to kick off. This is the start of the fourth quarter here at Lambeau Field. That's Johnny Holland next to Mike Holmgren. He is the special teams coach in his first year in that role. Nick Stockton and Matt Millen with the Packers lead by 5. Here's Preston. And on the goal line, here's Roel Preston returning. And Preston still on his feet. He gets by Hansen, and Preston may score.
No, he will score.
Okay, 99 yards.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable back-to-back kickoff returns for touchdowns.
Hey, I got to tell you people as you're watching, Stockton just predicted that.
Well, I remember a long time ago when I was a kid, and Emptonell of the Giants, Buddy Young of the Yanks, 100-yard touchdown returns back-to-back on kickoffs. Johnny Holland's got to feel good about it.
I think Johnny Holland just went from the outhouse to the penthouse. Roel Preston does the whole thing, and a great job by Blair. Watch Blair, 27. See, because he stayed with his block, he enabled them to be able to redirect and come back, and it's 6 quick.
And the extra point by Longwell is good, and the Packers again lead by 12, 31-19. There's Johnny Holland cheering on Roel Preston, and the Packers with a 99 kickoff return that time.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Volkswagen. On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers. By Gateway, let's talk about your gateway. By Pizza Hut, home of America's favorite pan pizza. And by the U.S. Navy. Navy, let the journey begin.
And this crowd with a rhythmic chant. There is Roel Preston, who impressed the Packers, returning 7 kicks against the Colts last year for over 200 yards, a club record. Here's Terry Fair, anyone for 3. Not this time. Terry Fair is brought down at the 27-yard line, but a spectacular back-to-back kickoff touchdown foray by Terry Fair, 101 yards, and Roel Preston for 99 yards. And next week it's big game with Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader. First 2 NFC Central rivals clash. Buccaneers take on the Packers. Then a battle for the ages as Troy Aikman and the Cowboys line up against John Elway and the Broncos. Coverage begins at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Check your local listing. So the Lions again down by 12. First down on the 27. Play action pass, and it's caught by Johnny Morton. And a big gainer near midfield for Morton and the Lions of 19 yards.
You know, lost in all that, Darren Sharper's back on the field. And a nice job again. They go play action. A good job by the offensive line of the Detroit Lions. And you see how they're trying to pick the pace up. They're trying to pick it up, and Green Bay's trying to slow it down.
First down, Barry Sanders trying to put a move on, and he does on Newsome. And finally wrestled down shy of midfield by Reggie White, of all people.
Well, you just keep on. You know, the one thing you do with Barry Sanders is you never quit. He's going to make you miss. You got to get back up on your horse and keep going after him, because you may miss him at one spot and he takes off to another. The chances of him coming back are just as good as the first time.
4-yard gain. He has 71 yards and 15 carries. And he's got a streak going today. Barry Sanders has rushed for 100 yards or more in 14 consecutive games. That's an NFL record, but even more amazing, Matt, he has done it in 10 straight road games.
Yeah, that's amazing. Really, there's not an adjective made in any language that can describe Barry Sanders. He's just phenomenal. I mean, that's one of the few guys I would pay to watch. Barry Sanders.
Quite a testimonial. 3rd and 7. Tommy Boyd in motion. Mitchell gets away from Reggie White, and this pass is incomplete. It was intended for Boyd.
Reggie White made the play. I mean, that whole thing goes back to Reggie White. We haven't said much about him all day, but when it came time to have to make a big 3rd down play, you're going to watch him right up top working on Tharp. He goes with power and just bull rushes him right back. Can't quite get the lock on him, but because of that, he forced the bad throw to the outside.
And the Packers will get it back. John Jett will kick. Roll Preston and Mike Pryor back deep for Green Bay. Good kick by Jett. Packers are going to let it bounce. The Lions cannot keep it in play, despite the efforts of Robert Bailey. So the Pack gets it on the 20 when we come back here in the fourth quarter to Green Bay. And how much of a role is Preston and Terry Fair play today in the total yardage story of these teams?
Those guys are on fire. And the thing is, they've developed a confidence in their group in a short preseason. Don't forget, with Roll Preston, they took Glenn Milburn and released him, a guy they brought in from Detroit. And Preston still beat the odds, and heck, he's still running.
Packers with a first down on their 20 with 12:27. We're early in the fourth quarter. And the handoff to Dorsey Levens, still on his feet, and then will lose some yardage as a result. Well, you want some action in this game. How about back-to-back kickoff returns for touchdown? First, Terry Fair, and I don't think I can talk this fast, Matt. 101 yards.
That, to me, that's a Stooges right there. That's Malice in the Palace. I remember it very well.
Roll Preston goes down.
Roll Preston right here. This is a plumbing we will go with Roll Preston.
Oh, my goodness.
On the 75th anniversary of the Stooges, they both turn in tremendous returns.
I got tongue-tied.
Yeah.
Second down and 12.
Preston now is in the game as a receiver.
That's right. Robert Brooks hasn't played much in the second half. Remember, he's coming back from the back surgery. And the handoff is to Dorsey Levens, and Levens takes it out to the 25-yard line. It'll be third and about 5.
There's a little bit of timing that Levens is getting back right there. And they tried to trap play. They tried to bring Marco Rivera out on Robert Porcher. But, you know, John Riggins, the Hall of Fame running back, calls that the point of patience. At one point when you're running the ball, you have to be slow enough and fast enough at the same time. You just have to be patient, and he had it right there.
Third down and 5 on the Green Bay 25. Mays comes in motion toward the line. And here's Levens. And Levens close to the first down. It'll be Greg Jeffries, the dime back, making the tackle. And I think Green Bay will have a new set of downs. They do.
And it looks like Ross Verba is getting up slow, not getting up.
Want to remind you that next, a Fox Saturday special edition. Mark McGwire has 60 home runs. He goes for 61, maybe 62. He's hit more than one in a game. That's coming up on Fox. Coming up next, by the way, Sammy Sosa, 1 for 3 with a single for the Chicago Cubs today.
Don't be surprised if McGwire breaks Maris's record and then Sosa beats it at the end of the season. There's Ross Verba right there, the Packers left tackle.
That could very well happen, Matt. Meanwhile, the medics tending to Ross Verba. We'll take a timeout. That's Ross Verba, and they're taping up his left ankle on the bench, and Matt Willig will replace him in his 6th season. Played his college ball at USC. First and 10 at the 30-yard line. 2 tight ends in there for Green Bay. Thomason in motion, and the pitch is to William Henderson. And Henderson brings it out to the 35-yard line.
You see Ross Verba up top. What's going to happen is Robert Porcher goes right by Earl Dodson. And then as he's kind of flopping around, he just gets his ankle caught right there. And Kerwin Waldrop just throws him back into the pile. Just watching him down there now. He's still getting that ankle taped.
Packers lost John Michaels preseason. Meanwhile, Travis Jervey, who is yet to line up in the backfield, is in there now, number 34 on 2nd and 5, and he gets the call with Henderson in front. Travis Jervey is
That's what I expected.
That mentioned great speed, gets a couple.
And that makes sense to me, see, because now you kind of wear guys down, bring Jervey in with the fresh legs and the great speed and try to get him to the edge. If he can turn that corner, that's like Sanders. He's a 6-quick guy. In fact, he's faster than Barry Sanders, one of the fastest guys in the NFL.
There's Verba trying to see if he can go. And another point is you see Jervey in there, and they haven't used many running backs after Levens. Raymond Harris, the ex-Bear, inactive for this game. Third down and 3 on the Packer 38-yard line. Good hold by Travis Jervey. Flag is down, and Jervey gets the first down and more to the 46-yard line. Let's see what the penalty is.
Well, it's inside. That usually smells like a hold to the offense, and it is.
So the first down nullified, and Mike Holmgren will be very upset at the penalty to Marco Rivera, the left guard.
Well, the one thing that the Packers were really upset about, specifically Mike Holmgren, was the penalties in preseason. They had not been a very heavily penalized team, and in the preseason they got their share of them.
Ross Verba has returned to the lineup at left tackle. And after the penalty marked off, it'll be third down and 13. Verba back in there.
Interesting with Verba with that left ankle. That's your kick foot if you're that left tackle. Your plant foot is your right foot. Your left foot is your kick foot. And if you don't have that to kick, you're susceptible to the outside edge of a pass rush. And that's where he had problems in the preseason. See if Waldrop doesn't, or Scroggins is on him out. See if he doesn't try to use that.
Schrader to the right and Freeman to the left are the wide receivers for Favre. And Brett Favre will be hitting the flag down.
Guess
Tracy
what?
Scroggins gets him.
Yeah, and it was that kick foot. It's exactly what he did. That's good football by Scroggins. In fact, Verba's going to get hot for a hold. Scroggins did just that. He attacked the bad ankle to the outside, went right around him. Verba had to horse collar him, and then still got in and made the sack.
Here's Dick Hantak.
Favre's mad about something. He's got a lump of grass on his face. He just got sacked.
Holding. Offense, number 78.
And you were so
Penalty
right.
is declined. Fourth down.
It's the feet that count too.
Sure, yeah, when you pass rush, watch Verba. See, here's his bad ankle. Scroggins is going to take advantage of it. He goes right to the top side. You can't kick. And then there was the penalty, and then the sack.
And you got to credit the Lions for being alert enough to pick that up.
Oh yeah, that's Scroggins. That's good football by Tracy Scroggins. You have to know your game, and you have to know when a guy is down. You have to take advantage of it.
Sean Landetta back to kick, and he gets off the beauty. Here's Terry Fair. Flag is down. Fair, and he's down at the 22-yard line.
And another flag goes down in the form of a hat.
First flag went down even before Fair got the ball.
Travis Jervey, what a heck of a play.
And there is Gary Lane, the side judge.
He used his flag the first time, and you run out of flags, you go to hats. You run out of hats, you go to beanbags.
I won't ask what happens after the beanbag.
You rip off your shorts and you throw them.
Illegal block during the return. Number 32, that penalty is declined.
That's Bryant Westbrook.
Holding while the ball was in the air. Number 25, that penalty is accepted.
That's Jeffries.
He will penalize half the distance to the goal.
And there.
Working on Brett Favre over there. We'll take a timeout as the Lions are backed up.
Hey, watch Brett Favre right here. See, hold him down there. Remember, Brett Favre had part of his intestine removed a few years ago when he was in college. And they're coming back, and then I got to show you something. They did not want anybody to see what was going on. So they had the very clandestine operation. Now he's back up and he's throwing, but I want you to remember, see, that's a quarterback. A quarterback, they don't want anybody to know about. If you're a left tackle,
doesn't matter.
Yeah, and you're Ross Verba, they keep it out in full view. Yeah, it's my ankle, take advantage. But if you're the quarterback, they don't want anything to happen. I got to say this right now. In my opinion, if the Packers don't have Brett Favre, they're a severely average team. And that's why he's the MVP the last 3 years. He's hurting too, I'm telling you. I can see it in his face.
Doug Peterson has been throwing down there as well, just in case. Meanwhile, the Lions backed up to their 14-yard line. First down, trailing by 12. Mitchell handing off and a fake.
Oh, Vonnie Holliday right there.
Should have handed off. Holliday gets him for the sack inside the 5. That is the third sack of the game by the Packers, a loss of 9.
I think they were going to go with play action and try to hit Herman Moore on a comeback to Craig Newsom. But Vonnie Holliday working down here just comes right off the side. See, Ray Roberts doubled inside, then came out, and Holliday blew right past him. This is what he wanted to get to. He had single coverage. He had the comeback, but because Holiday got there, he couldn't get the ball off.
Second down and 19. Rookie from North Carolina who earned a starting position, Bonnie Holiday. Here's Mitchell completing to Johnny Morton. And Morton trying to get some extra yards, brings it out to the 16, still shy by about 9. And right now, let's return to Kevin Frazier at our Fox Television Center in Los Angeles. Kevin?
The Giants starting to put it on the Redskins. Danny Cannell to Amani Toomer, 22 yards for the touchdown. Gus Farad is out with an injured shoulder. Trent Green running the show. Let's go back to Dick and Matt.
Big division game in the NFC East today.
I think the Giants have the defense to be able to take him and allow that young Cannell to come on. But here we got 3rd and 8, looking like a big down for both sides.
And there's Mitchell's pass, and it's caught by Johnny Morton. Johnny Morton with a first down, covered by Newsom. Packers have done a good job defending, but the receivers have gotten open, and a pickup of 19 yards.
Nice job of pass protection, and a nice job of Mitchell staying in the pocket because he got away with a hold. Ramirez right there. See, Ramirez threw him down, but a nice job of Mitchell staying in the pocket. When he sets his feet and throws, he's as good as there is.
Lions trailing 31-19. First down on their 34. And Mitchell's pass caught by Morton again and knocked out of bounds by Newsom at a gain of about 7.
Quiet right now by Herman Moore. That tells me he's not 100%. Not only the groin or the abdomen, whatever it is, but also with the shot he took to the head, because when they needed to have some confidence before, they went to him. The good thing for the Detroit Lions is they can go right to Johnny Morton. Johnny Morton is picking up the pace right now.
Moore still has 7 catches and a touchdown, but Morton's been the go-to guy lately. Second down and 2. And another play fake. And Mitchell up the middle. Looked like Sanders was the intended receiver, but the pass not close to him, as the Packers obviously put the rush on as Mitchell trying to adjust his jersey and pads.
Well, you know, he had Reggie White coming down from the top side. Bonnie Holiday all of a sudden has kind of picked up his game.
6:11 remaining in the fourth quarter. Spectacular game. We've had a defensive touchdown off a fumble recovery. We've had back-to-back kickoff returns for touchdowns as well. 3rd and 2. They're going to give it to Sanders, and he's not going to make it.
Gilbert Brown was right there. If you don't double team him, he'll put you in the grave like the grave digger says he is.
And what did Fritz Shermer say? Cardiovascular-wise, he is as in shape as anyone, despite his size, right?
Yeah, and he's a big man. Obviously, he's a big man, but he's not wilted today. That's a big down by Gilbert Brown. See, he just blows right through the double team, comes from the backside, and they're going to go for it on 4th down.
Well, they did in the first quarter. Not a good idea, and it backfired. This is not a bad idea here. 4th and 3. And there is the pass, and it's overthrown.
He had him.
It was Herman Moore who had beaten his defender, and they turn it over on down. So down by 12. Bobby Ross is a gambling man today as Lions head coach.
See, Mitchell knows because he beat Newsom at the line of scrimmage. He beats the jam. All they have to do is be thrown inside. A little bit more patience, and that was a major play. So he missed the opportunity, and he knows it. Watch, as soon as he throws, he knows he had it.
And the reaction of Moore. So this was a better percentage move than the one in the first quarter, but if you don't make it and the Packers score a touchdown, that's the end of this game. 5:30 to go. There is enough time. Now the Lion defense has to go to work. 1st and 10 at the 41. Here's Dorsey Levens, and Rob Fredrickson wraps him up quickly.
Remember, I talked about picking the pace up, and you see Brett Favre is back. Now they're going to milk this clock for all 40 seconds. They haven't even started anything, and they're down to 25. They will snap that ball within 5 seconds of the clock every time. Now they're going to bring Jeff Thomason in and have William Henderson. No, Travis Jerby's coming in as a single back. Haven't got to the line of scrimmage. They're down to 10 seconds.
2nd down and 9 at the 40-yard line.
This shows a lot of confidence right now because Jerby fumbled the ball in the preseason.
And they give it to Travis Jerby going wide. And of course, he goes out of bounds and stops the clock with 4:40 to go. I want to remind you that most of you will see Mark McGwire make his bid for a 61st home run. He's got 60. Fox Saturday Baseball Special Edition coming up next. The Reds against the Cardinals from Busch Stadium. McGwire has 60. Maris's record of 61 is in jeopardy. And that's coming up next.
I think McGwire would have made a good tight end. Forget that baseball stuff. He could be catching passes.
Brother was a quarterback.
That's right. He was bigger than him.
Dan McGwire with Seattle and then later Miami. 3rd down and 4. A lot of time for Favre, but nowhere to go. And he's sacked back at the 42-yard line by Kevin Waldrop. So, Matt, the Lions, tough shape, had to hold, and they did that time.
Yeah, and the way they got that done, forget the sack. See, that wasn't a great defensive line play by Waldrop. That was excellent coverage down the field. Favre had nowhere to throw that football. He's hurt. I'm watching him. He's hurting because that was not the Brett Favre with his feet moving around as you normally see.
He's been sacked twice, knocked down 5 times, but one injury, and you're absolutely right. He's not himself. So Sean Landeta will kick, and Terry Fair going back to the team. Winding down to 4 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. And the flag is down and a delay of the game.
Now, that's a good penalty. Now, if you're Detroit, you decline that penalty because you don't want to give him any more room to kick.
Delay of the game. Penalties accepted. The yardage is declined. 4th down.
There you go. That's what I would do too. You want to give him a shorter field. You don't want to give him a longer field. Make it tougher for him to kick and keep it inside that 20.
Landeta will try to keep it in play. And this will sail into the end zone for the touchback with just under 4 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. The Detroit Lions will start from the 20. They need 12 points to tie, and they have all 3 of their timeouts remaining. And we talked about, Matt, as we see more overcast than sunshine today. Opening day, kickoff 98 in Lambeau, and the beautiful green gold.
Oh, it's beautiful. It is a gorgeous field, and this whole setting is beautiful. And there's a reason why it's this pretty. See, because they take their side seriously. And you see what he's doing that seriously. He's keeping it just right. Each blade meticulously clipped.
That's how you get your haircut.
Take a little bit off the top and keep it low in the back.
1st down at the 20, and the pass thrown into coverage intended for Moore, knocked down by Mike Pryor.
And also Darren Sharper right there on top. The other thing that's not said about this field, which was noticed immediately by the Detroit Lions, was that the grass was on the high side. See, because they want a slower field with Barry Sanders. When Sanders is in town, it all of a sudden gets a little damper and higher.
That's all part of gamesmanship. Baseball teams have been doing that for years. Sanders with 70 yards, but this is a passing situation, and Herman Moore will be a couple of yards shy of the 1st down with 3:40 remaining in the 4th quarter. The Lions down by 12, and they're in their hurry-up offense. 3rd down and 1. And a slingshot to Morton, and he's got it. 1st down.
That's a good throw. He throws it low and away. You have to make the catch, or you live for another day. Now they're going to hurry-up offense, which they had been doing last down, like you said. But what that does is it forces Green Bay to have to stay in only a select few coverages.
They got a 3-man front, and this pass is caught by Johnny Morton, trying to get the 1st down yardage and actually lost the yards. There's the timeout story. Craig Newsome hanging on, and now under 3 minutes to go.
See, as you go with your hurry-up offense, you can run your defense, but you're limited with all the calls you can make. So you kind of stay in coverages that you can read a little easier.
Lions need 2 touchdowns. Here's the pressure on Mitchell, and the pass downfield, and it was intended for Johnny Morton.
That's the 4th time they've tried to go up on Craig Newsome. They started earlier in the game, and they haven't stopped. And he's answered the bell because he's a gamer.
Got hurt on the first play of last season. Scott Mitchell trying to get it done today. 19 of 34 for 214 yards and his touchdown pass to Herman Moore. 3rd and 4. This is a 2-down situation for Detroit. And the pass caught by Tommy Boyd. 1st down, Lions.
See, what the Packers are doing is they're just sitting in a zone. And if you're going to do that, you have to try to get your hands on defenders so they just can't run clean.
And the Lions will choose to use one of their 3 remaining timeouts right here. We have 2:31 remaining in the clock. Detroit virtually at midfield. And again, we'll tell you that the Lions need 2 touchdowns to try to pull this one out against Green Bay. A couple of streaks going today for the Packers. They have won 23 straight regular season games at Lambeau Field. The NFL record by the Dolphins of 27. And Barry Sanders, who has gained 100 yards or more in 14 straight games, 10 on the road, has 70 yards. So he'll need a long scamper to get to 100 today.
That can come at any time. Obviously, at this point, they've got to be able to throw, but more important than throwing is moving the ball and getting the score, because they need 2, like you mentioned. Now, the Packers will be happy to give up and let them take the time off the clock going down the field.
They're at their own 49, the Lions. 1st down. Scott Mitchell going deep for Johnny Morton. And Mike Pryor with the interception, and the flags are down. But Pryor picked it off.
I think that's going to be offensive interference on Johnny Morton because he pushed Craig Newsome before the catch.
In any event, it's good news for Green Bay.
Yeah, because Pryor did the perfect job of playing center field.
Offense, number 87.
That's right,
penalty is declined. 1st down, Green Bay.
Yeah, well, you can see right down here, that's Mike Pryor. He's playing what's called center field, in the middle of the field. He goes to where the ball's thrown. Watch the end. Right there was the push. And because he's sitting here reading back inside, right, there's the push with the right hand. Pryor just comes over from the middle and makes the play. That requires patience and vision, and he played it perfectly.
Mike Pryor led the Packers in preseason with 3 interceptions, and he has been a valuable man for Mike Holmgren and Fritz Shermer in particular in the secondary.
It's funny, talking to the Green Bay Packers, all the defensive coaches say, we can't run anything without Mike Pryor.
And, you know, the secondary is a question mark for the Packers this year, so Pryor's a handy man to have. Dorsey Levens will bring it down to the 2-minute warning unless the Lions call a timeout, and they will.
It's a good timeout.
And Detroit left with 1 timeout. Matt, let's take a look now at the Lions' upcoming schedule. Now, this is a team that notoriously has gotten off to slow starts. Last year, losing 4 of their first 10.
Well, unless they change something drastically here and score 2 touchdowns, they'll open 0-1. That's a team they can win. Here's a division, here's a division, here's a division, and then they're bye until they get back to Green Bay and Minnesota. So the front end of their schedule is loaded heavily with division games.
And at the end of the season, they have a lot of playoff teams of a year ago, so it doesn't get easy for Bobby Ross. And I said they lost 4. They dropped 6 of their first 10, and that has been the habit the Lions have gotten themselves into, getting off to slow starts.
And really, Dick, when you look at what we just talked about there with the season slow starts, it's exactly what they did in today's game. They got off to the slow start to put them in a hole, and they haven't been able to get out of it.
2nd down and 10 for the Packers. And here is Levens. Dorsey Levens today coming back. And you say, well, he may get fatigued, he may lose the ball, and he may have problems. And Dorsey Levens has been a warrior out there as a running back.
And he's going to be one sore warrior come tomorrow and Tuesday. Tuesday is the day that's traditionally the players off day in the league. And it's also the day that you really get tired. Now, you may feel a couple of bumps and bruises on Monday, but Tuesday it usually hits you and you're usually drained. It's one of those days where you kind of flop around all day, maybe take a snooze in the afternoon, but he's going to be a hurting buckaroo.
I even noticed Tuesday after you broadcast the game is a tough day, you know.
Yeah, it's really tough, I'll tell you.
Well, the sun comes out, shines on Brett Favre and the rest of the Green Bay Packers as the Lions have used up their third and final timeout. And the Packers, there'll be one more stoppage of the clock at the 2-minute warning. Green Bay facing 3rd and 8 at the 16.
Yeah, they're taking the bunting down,
which signifies opening day as nothing else does. Here's Favre going to Freeman, and Antonio Freeman down the sideline, and he's going to win this race. Touchdown Packers, 84.
I think Brett Favre ran faster than Antonio Freeman for 70 yards.
An 84-yard touchdown pass.
And that was a speed route the whole way. Freeman was able to run across field, use his speed, catch it, and then use his speed to another gear for 6.
So both of Brett Favre's touchdown passes today have been to Antonio Freeman. And the extra point by Ryan Longwell, and the kick is good. And the Packers now lead the Lions by a score of 38-19. And our 2-minute warning right now with 1:53 showing on the clock.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Miller Lite, who reminds you that every Miller Lite is sold ready to drink.
No one more happy than Brett Favre right now.
Yeah, and you just see he's throwing stuff at people, but he was just leaning over, sucking air, because he just ran 70 yards. I think the most running he's done in preseason.
Right, he outran Freeman, who scored the touchdown.
The first thing, they go play action, a nice job by the offensive line. You know, watch Bryant Westbrook right there. See, Freeman goes inside, then back outside. Favre gives him time with the air under the ball, and then it turns into a foot race. And at the end of this, I want you to watch. See, he knows. Watch his face. See, he knows. He starts to play right there. Oh, yeah, a little bit in, a little bit out. And then on the other side, Favre sees it right away. And he knows it's 6. And then he starts. This is his conditioning for the 1998 season.
And he was shaken up before, but he looked like he was back there. Here is Scott Mitchell on first down. The pass caught by Jermaine Crowell, and Crowell close to the first down. By the way, that 84-yard catch by Freeman was his longest NFL reception and his second TD of the game. 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line with just about a minute and a half remaining in what will be a Packer victory on opening day. The pass tipped away, intended for Kriblevich, incomplete, stopping the clock. But Green Bay up 38-19. As we mentioned, Freeman with his longest catch of his career, capping a quick 86-yard drive.
There's a guy to the left, Roel Preston. If the Green Bay Packers can pat somebody on the back today, it's Roel Preston, because they seemingly had everything going the other way, and he gave it right back to them.
Yes, he did, in a hurry, after Favre had given the Lions hope with a 100-yard kickoff return. Here is Crowell, and he picks up about 8 yards.
You know, the Detroit Lions, I don't know what they're going to say about Herman. Herman Moore was not the same Herman Moore today. He obviously had the groin thing, and that slowed him down. And then I think when he got hit in the head, that hurt him also. Because when they needed him to pick it up right before the half, he only had 3 catches. Then he had 4 right away, and it looked like he was going to start to bring it on, and then he slowed down after he got whacked in the head again.
You're right, Matt. Despite the 7 catches, in essence, Herman Moore was one missing weapon, really, for the Lions, because he needs to be at full strength. As he said, if he's hurt, it's a distraction to him.
Well, and more than that, they need him to be at full strength, because he's a guy who can change the game. And then the other guy is Barry Sanders. He had 70 yards, and then he hasn't sniffed the ball since he got his 70th yard. Part of that was because they had to play catch-up. Part of it also, I think, is you have to still handle the ball.
Well, Sanders won't get 100. That breaks his string of 14 consecutive games, 10 on the road, and the Packers now will have won their 24th consecutive victory at home. The Miami Dolphins won 27, and the Packers can break that record with a win against, of all people, the San Francisco 49ers on November the 1st. Now, that would be the game. If the Packers win all their home games and that one, he'll break the record. There you see Tampa Bay next week. So the first 3 games for the Packers at home are all division games, but they are at home. 3rd down and 8. Mitchell overthrows with
Dick,
17 seconds.
We're talking here about Herman Moore and not being up to snuff, and he still has 9 catches for 100 yards. Which just lets you know what kind of a receiver he is.
Well, next week, it's big game day with a Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader. First, we've got 2 NFC Central rivals. The Buccaneers will go against these Packers here at Lambeau Field in a battle for the ages. Troy Aikman, John Elway hookup as the Cowboys face the Broncos in the second half of our doubleheader. Coverage begins at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Check your local listing. 4th down and 8 with 17 seconds remaining. They're going to be dancing in the streets outside of Lambeau. And the tailgaters will be gone into the early evening for sure, with 8 seconds remaining.
Maybe they'll have one of those pasties that we had yesterday.
Well, they were good.
Yeah, one of those Upper Peninsula Michigan deals that guy walked in yesterday and just dropped the whole load on us. And you know, being the congenial guy that I am, I had to sit there and eat half of them.
That was only an hour after lunch, if I recall. First down at the 38-yard line. The Cheeseheads enjoying victory number 1 for the Packers. Try to get the bad taste of the Super Bowl defeat. Start a new year. A Hail Mary could be the final play of the game. Batted down, and the game is over. And the Green Bay Packers have defeated the Detroit Lions by a score of 38-19 in the opener, in a spectacular game with some big plays. Back-to-back kickoff returns of 101 and 99 yards, and Leroy Butler with a 32-yard fumble return for a touchdown. And on a gamble, and they're going to be talking about the questionable decision perhaps in the first quarter to go for it on 4th down. Barry Sanders does not get 100 for the first time in 15 games.
There's my game MVP right there, Royal Preston. If it wasn't for Preston, this game goes a completely different way, because Detroit had recaptured what they lost when Terry Fair went for 6.